81 degrees first pitch temperature here in Southern California. Yankees trying to sweep this 3-game set. The 1-1. Foul tipped into the glove of Molina. 1-2.
Yeah, just barely batting over 100 in this slide that he is in. He was 0 for 5 in this first game of the 3-game series on Tuesday night. And some of those pitches that he was hitting out of the ballpark earlier in the year, now he's missing.
Well, his discipline on that pitch low and away simply not there. So Soriano is now 3 for his last 27. Let's take a look at the starter, Aaron Sele.
Aaron Sele making his 15th start. He is 6-8. He's below 500. But look at that earned run average, a bloated 5.17. And he has given up 78 hits and 69 2/3 innings pitched. Our scouting report, world champion surgery. Well, he had surgery last year. He was unable to attend the postseason and the world championship that the Angels won last year. No Yank Aaron. Well, this guy here is 5-10 against the Yankees. And KKK continues to go down. Strikeout rate has decreased in each of the last 4 seasons.
Pitch to Jeter's inside, 1-0.
Now, could it be because of that rotator cuff surgery? Maybe the arm hasn't responded yet. Maybe it's not as strong as it was before the surgery.
And the count 2-0.
But Sele, if he's going to get by, he has to spot his fastball and throw that curveball over, such as what he did to Alfonso Soriano. The curveball is his best pitch.
Well, Bobby mentioned the Yankees really have never had problems with him. 5-10 regular season, and in the postseason, he's 0-5 against the Yankees. So they have his number even when he was healthy.
And quite a few of these Yankees have big numbers against Sele, career-wise, including Derek Jeter. He's a .326 hitter lifetime.
And now he walks.
Yankees have been very successful in the first inning in the first 2 games. And they have staked their ball club with a big lead in the first and second. About the time the second inning was over with, the starting pitcher had a pretty good-sized lead. And one reason is because of this guy here. He is starting to swing the bat the way that Jason Giambi knows how to swing the bat, and he is ready for this stretch run here in the American League East. He was 3 for 3 last night.
Giambi is 6 for his last 18. And he loves hitting on the road this year. He has 30 home runs, and 22 of them have been away from the Bronx.
Well, we've talked so many times, Michael, about this game being just a matter of adjustments all the time. I mean, you have to make adjustments. Jason Giambi's made an adjustment where he stands in the batter's box, and it is really starting to pay off for him. He was a little bit too far away, he felt like, and now he's about a half a foot closer to the plate. He thought he was having to reach for a lot of balls, and he was missing them and getting out in front a little bit too soon and making him uppercut. So he's moved about a half a foot closer to the plate, and he's responded.
Pitch is high, and the count is 1-2. Yankees have had 7 first-inning runs over the last 3 games, and that really takes a lot of pressure off of the starter. You just go out there, you're starting to throw strikes, and you know that you've got a lead before you even take the mound. Just missed. Count 2-2.
Well, it does a few things. It gives you momentum early in the game. It puts the other team obviously behind, and it stops some of the things that they normally would do offensively. And it gives that starting pitcher a lot of confidence too, that he doesn't have to nip the corners all the time.
2-2. A breaking ball, and Giambi way out in front. Backing up is Kennedy. 2-away.
Well, Giambi's been one of the hottest hitters on this Yankee ball club. Let's see how Aaron Sele went after him. First pitch was fastball on the inside part of the plate with a lot of movement. He came back with the same pitch. He was 0-2. Fastball up high. Tried to sneak another one in there, 2-2, and then got him on the breaking ball.
Now to bring up Bernie Williams. Bernie's still looking to hit his stride since coming back from surgery. That one he hits the other way, which is a good sign. Moving toward the line is Anderson. And he makes a nice basket catch right in front of the stands for the final out of the inning. Very slick play by Garrett Anderson. Well, the Yankees do not score in the first inning for the first time in 4 games. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. Angels coming to bat. Well, the Yankees don't score at the top of the first time in 4 games. Now David Wells will take on this Angel lineup. David Eckstein, the shortstop, leads off, batting second and playing center field, Darren Erstad. Garrett Anderson's in left field, he'll hit third. Look at the numbers against Wells. 24 for 59, that's 407. That's a lefty against a lefty, and 2 of the 24 home runs. Sean Wooten, the DH, cleans up. Batting fifth and playing first base, the rookie, Rob Quinlan. Benji Molina will catch, he'll hit sixth. Batting seventh and playing third base, Benji Gill. Troy Gloss is on the DL. Adam Kennedy, the second baseman, hits eighth. Batting ninth and playing right field, Eric Owens. Tim Salmon is on the bench with a bad back. Not quite on the DL, but unable to play.
And the boomer David Wells making his 20th start tonight. He has record 12-3, 156 hits, 139 2/3, and he has walked 11. Only 11. Let's take a look at the scouting report. Oh, Cy, he was really bothered in his last startup in Boston about that sciatic nerve, unable to finish off his pitches, but he said he's better tonight. No walk in the park. We talked about those 11 walks that he has given up. Well, out of the 11 overall, he gave up 5 in his last start. Ground Garrett, we showed you those numbers. Well, Garrett Anderson for the Anaheim Angels is 11 for his last 16 off of David Wells.
And the pitch to David Eckstein is outside. Wells has had a splendid year at 12-3. And in his last 20 regular season starts, these numbers really are startling. 15-1 with a 3.06 ERA. On the road. The 1-1. Breaking ball strike. So the 20 last regular season starts on the road, 15-1, 3.06. And you know that he loves pitching in Yankee Stadium. But when he gets away from the stadium, also does an unbelievable job. And his only loss came at the Sky Dome, and that was last September. Line down the left field line, and that's a foul ball. Eckstein missed a double by about 1.5 feet.
Eckstein does not strike out that much. He's what you call one of those pesky type of hitters. He can hit the ball to all fields. He can bunt, especially when he gets 2 strikes on him. He always chokes up on the bat, but I think he chokes up a little bit more once he has himself down in the count. You can see how much he's got, probably about 2 inches that he's choking up on the bat, just to give him more back control.
Grounded to second base. Diving stop by Soriano. He fires to Giambi. Got a nice play by Alfonso Soriano. Knocked it down, calmly stayed with it, and then fired to Giambi to get Eckstein for the first out of the first.
I think that was the key word. He did not panic. Once he knocked the ball down, that ball was hit pretty hard by Eckstein. Got to his knees and fired it so Jason Giambi could handle it. A lot of times, you panic in those situations because you know that Eckstein runs very well, and every pitcher likes to see that kind of defense behind him.
And the pitch to Erstad is outside. Now, the reason that the Yankees have done so well in this series in Anaheim is now in the 19 innings Yankee pitching has gone up against the Angels, the leadoff batter has gotten on just once, and that was in the 5th inning against Andy Pettitte in Game 1, where Rob Quinlan doubled to lead off that inning. He did not come around to score, but if you can keep the leadoff batter off base, you got a very good chance to pitch well, and that's what Pettitte did in Game 1 and Roger Clemens last night. Count 2-1.
Aaron Erstad also hit a bit of a slide. He's 3 for his last 29. Just barely batting over 200 this month.
There's a ground ball up the middle, moving to his right, Soriano, and he flips to Giambi 2 away.
Erstad had been bothered by that right hamstring. He still has a big brace, and that right leg wrapped up. You can see that brace that goes all the way up almost to his hip area. Still has tendonitis. He's not 100%.
That's tough for a guy whose game is predicated on speed. Here's Garrett Anderson, MVP of the All-Star game, also the Home Run Derby champion. Breaking ball just missed. Home plate umpire tonight is Matt Hollowell. Mike Fichter at first. The crew chief Wally Bellas at second, and Bill Welke over at third. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, 1-1.
Two good breaking balls there. That's a good sign if you're talking about the sciatic nerve and if it's bothering David Wells, because not being able to finish your pitches off, especially on a breaking ball when you're striding on that left leg and all the pressure there, you got to be able to break it off and bend that back a little bit.
He's broken off 3 nice curveballs. The first one wasn't called a strike. The second one Anderson swung at. That one he took for a strike, so the count 1-2.
If you don't, you're going to hang it up in the strike zone. It's always going to be up.
Swung on and missed. He threw him a fastball low and inside. That is an impressive 1-2-3 first inning for David Wells. Well, we've played one here at Edison Field. It's the Yankees nothing, the Angels nothing, and you're watching the Yankees on the Yes Network. Well, both pitchers impressive in the first inning, and now Hideki Matsui leads off against Aaron Sele. Pitches outside, 1-0. In case you joined us later, didn't watch the pregame show, the Yankees involved in 3 big deals right before the trade deadline, which took place 4 p.m. Eastern time today. The first deal is the Yankees traded Robin Ventura to the Dodgers for outfielder Bubba Crosby and right-handed pitcher Scott Proctor. Both were playing in AAA Las Vegas for the Dodgers. And from what we hear, the Yankees very high on both of those prospects. So in a deal that the Yankees really had to make a deal for Robin Ventura after they acquired Aaron Boone, they actually got 2 players that they really like from the Dodgers. So that was one move. The move that precipitated that one was that the Yankees did get another third baseman, Aaron Boone, from the Reds. And they traded really their crown jewel pitcher in their organization, left-handed pitcher Brandon Clausen, and also a Class A left-hander Charlie Manning, to the Reds for Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is expected to join the team tomorrow for the first game in Oakland. The Yankees begin a 3-game set. And Matsui works a walk against Aaron Sele. Now the Yankees got younger at third base, and Boone obviously had better numbers than Robin Ventura, who struggled mightily the last 2 months. Boone 273, 18 home runs, 65 ribbies. Ventura 251, 9 home runs and 42 runs batted in. So Ventura 35 last year of his contract. Aaron Boone is 30. He's got this year and another year before he becomes a free agent. Yankees really feel that that position is now upgraded, Bobby.
Absolutely, and he had 26 home runs last year and drove in 87 for Cincinnati. But beyond all of those home runs and RBIs, I mean, he's got a good arm. He's a good defensive third baseman, but he also adds some speed. He had 32 stolen bases for the Reds last year, and he's got 16 already this year. So gives Joe Torre a lot more offense as far as his lineup is concerned. And the way Joe likes to go left, right, switch hitter, left, right, I mean, it gives him all kinds of firepower. And being at 30 years of age, I mean, Boone now is just moving into the prime of his career.
There's David DeLucci, who's in the lineup tonight. David DeLucci was acquired at the beginning of this series for Raul Mondesi. So as we said right at the start, the Yankees have really turned around this roster to the tune of 25% since the beginning of June when they were in Chicago to meet the Cubs. 6 players out of 25 have been moved, and 6 new players have come in. There's one of them, Kareem Garcia. A lot of the bullpen has also been rejiggered out there as well. There's a line drive to right field, giving chases. Owens, he does, and he makes the play. Matsui keeps running, and he is going to be doubled up. That is a rare base running mistake by Hideki Matsui. He just took off. He didn't think that Eric Owens had any chance. Owens made a nice diving catch and then got up and threw a strike to Rob Quinlan for the 9-3 double play.
But I think what happened when Matsui got on first base, you know, what you do is you take a look at where the outfielders are placed. And I don't think that he thought Eric Owens had a chance of catching this sinking liner down the right field line. Either that or he didn't check the outfielders. Now he begins to take a look, but he'd already determined there that he wasn't going to be able to catch that ball, and he was going to score.
Nick Johnson taps one back to Aaron Sele, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the second inning. So Matsui gets doubled off of first, and the Yankees kind of get the plug pulled on their inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. In the bottom of the second, we'll talk about the final deal the Yankees made. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. It's an action-packed 3-game series between the Yankees and the Texas Rangers, Tuesday, August 5th through Thursday, August 7th. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. So Hideki Matsui in right field, or check that in left field. And the strange thing is, Bobby, when he gets thrown out on the base paths, we're kind of shocked.
Well, yeah, he's such a fundamentally sound base runner and player all the way around, but that ball was a sinking liner, and he'd already made up his mind. He will take one quick look back right here, and he's already determined that Eric Owens will not catch that ball. But Owens does, and it turns into a double play.
So nice play by Eric Owens. And Sean Wooten will lead off against David Wells. And the pitch to Wooten is a strike. We're talking about the deals the Yankees made before the trade deadline, 4 p.m. Eastern time today. And the final one, which I think could be a really important one, is they got left-handed reliever Gabe White from the Reds for a player to be named later. And White is really the goods. He doesn't just get out lefties, he can get out righties as well. This is one of the better relievers in baseball. Right now he's on the disabled list with a strained groin, and he could be on the disabled list for another 2-3 weeks. He's missed all of the month of July with that injury. But when he comes back, Bobby, that really does solidify the Yankee bullpen.
I talked to Dave DeLucci before the day's ball game and asked him.
Dave DeLucci right there, and the plate on a hop, so a single for Sean Wooten.
Asked him about did he have a chance to face Gabe White before, during the year, and he said, yeah, I faced him early in the year. He said he throws hard.
Well, the Yankees faced White when they played the Reds in the Interleague series, and he was lights out when they faced him. He's not just a one-inning guy. He can give you 2 or 3. He's got some length to his game, and that could turn out to be a very, very important acquisition, because now you've got Gabe White and Armando Benitez to set up Mariano Rivera from the left side or the right side, and then you drop down Osuna and Hammond to the innings before that. There's a strike to Rob Quinlan.
Well, it's certainly a big upgrade also for that bullpen, because they've needed a left-hander down there. Chris Hammond has had some problems getting left-handed hitters out. They need somebody down there that could be a specialty just to get that particular left-hander out, along with Jesse Orozco.
And the 0-1. Foul back. So the Yankee organization as a whole pulled these trades off. You've got to give credit to Gene Michael. We've got to give credit to Gordon Blakely, Lynn Garrett, Damon Oppenheimer. These guys together with Brian Cashman, they put this deal together, the Tampa and the New York operation coming together, and this is what they decided was best for the team. And they pulled off these trades, and a lot of people in baseball, a lot of people on the other side of the field today thought that the Yankees did a very good job in their acquisitions. There's a ground ball. It could be 2. There's 1. And a bad throw by Soriano, which fortunately for the Yankees hit the gate in front of the dugout and bounced back to Jason Giambi, and that allows Quinlan to stay put there at first.
Like Soriano was a little bit late getting to the bag, or he just didn't make that good pivot. Maybe he didn't have a good grip of the baseball. You could see he was off balance when he threw, and Wooten doesn't have speed, so he had a lot of time just to kind of hang around that bag and set himself. You see how he kind of double clutched when he went for the ball in the glove. I don't think he had a good grip of the baseball.
So Soriano not charged with an error because you cannot assume the double play. Rob Quinlan just reaches on the fielder's choice, and here's Benji Molina. You can already see at this point in the game that David Wells is not in the pain that he was in Fenway Park. He's getting the ball, throwing strikes, always around the zone. That was not the case on Friday against Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox. Seemed like he didn't want to throw the ball, didn't have any pacing, and certainly was all over the place, walking 5 batters. He had only walked 6 coming into that game.
And despite all that, he still gave the Yankees a chance to win. He found a way to keep the Yankees in that game. You see the line on his no decision against the Red Sox, 5 2/3, only 2 runs, gave up 7 hits. But those 5 walks are very uncharacteristic of David Wells, since he's only walked 11 all year long, and 5 of them came in his last start.
The 1-0. Fouled away, and the key in that line, as Bobby said, the 2 runs. Because when you're facing Pedro Martinez, if you give in to the walks, if you give in to the pain, there's 2 things that could happen. He could have said after the 3rd inning, I can't go, had them fashion all those innings out of the bullpen, or persevere as he did, which impressed the Yankees, impressed the coaching staff. He kept them in it. The bullpen came in and did a good job until Pedro Martinez could no longer go. Pitch to Molina's inside.
Yeah, especially against an offense like the Red Sox. They're batting almost 300 as a team. And at Fenway, you don't make too many mistakes up there. If you do, it costs you a lot of runs.
Now, one other point we wanted to make on the Aaron Boone deal. Lest anybody think that the Yankees didn't know what they were giving up in Clausen. They are very well aware that Brandon Clausen is a very good talent. But the parallel to this deal is the deal that they made after the '97 season with the Minnesota Twins. Line down the left field line, that is going to be trouble. That's a base hit. Cutting over is Matsui. Let's see if they wave Quinlan. No, they hold him right there as Matsui got the ball in quickly to Jeter, and hustling in the second with a double is Benji Molina.
Well, we talked about Matsui and how quickly he will get the ball out of his glove, almost like an infielder, but only in the outfield. And that's what saves this run and holds Quinlan at third. It certainly appears when the ball went down the left field line, Quinlan was at second base, that he was going to score. But you have to see how quickly that Matsui gets the ball back in the infield. And, of course, they got to hold Quinlan at third base. It's almost like he's completing a double play.
Well, the Yankees will play the infield back with Benji Gill at the plate. Angels have runners on second and third with 1 out. They'll give up a run to get an out. Breaking ball strike. Anyway, finishing the point about trading Clausen. When the Yankees got Chuck Knobloch, they felt they desperately needed a leadoff batter and they needed a second baseman. And the only way to get that player from the Twins was to include Eric Milton in the deal, a hard-throwing left-hander. Yankees loved Milton. They knew they were giving up a good player, but they felt they needed Knobloch. So they made that deal. Milton turned out to be a good player for the Twins. But you know what? Yankees got 3 world championships having Knobloch on the team and leading off, so they considered that a good deal. They look at this deal in the same vein. And Bobby, the bottom line is sometimes you have to trade talent to get talent. Yankees feel they got a very, very good player in Aaron Boone. So yes, they gave up a good player in Brandon Clausen, but they did it with eyes wide open.
Well, the bottom line is that the Yankees are a better team today than they were yesterday, even though they had to give up something that was quality in the minor leagues. And Brandon Clausen still will have to prove himself on the major league level. But the Yankees upgrading their bullpen, as you mentioned, with Gabe White in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, so he'll be back. And, of course, getting the offense and a player such as an all-star third baseman of Aaron Boone. I mean, it's about this year. You know, it's not about next year or the year after. It's about this year. It's about the present. And the Yankees are in the thick of this American League East race, and this organization has never left a stone unturned. Their goal is to go to the World Series and win the World Championship. We've talked about it before. I mean, they've had major injuries this year. It would have devastated any other organization. They found a way to plug the hose to keep themselves alive, keep their heads above water, and they find themselves a game and a half in front, and they're all getting healthy and they're making trades, and they're a better club today than they were when the season started. That's the bottom line.
Derek Jeter fields that ball up the middle by Benji Gill. That allows Quinlan to score, Molina to move to third, and the Angels take a 1-0 lead now with 2 outs.
Well, the Yankees playing the infield back. They just want to give up the 1.
You know, Bobby, if they played the infield in there, they would have given up 2, because that would have gotten through. Here's Adam Kennedy with a runner on third base and 2 men out. Angels up 1-0, their first lead of the series. There's a strike. Check that. No, we call that outside. Fredo Griffin has to dance out of the way, the Angels' first base coach. He was a pretty good infielder in his day.
You know, baseball is a business, and Robin Ventura was very well liked and loved here as a Yankee, and he did a great job, and he was great in the clubhouse. But this is a business, and everybody that plays it knows it is a business, and it's a business about winning. He gets to go back. He gets to go home. He's going to go to the Dodgers. He lives in Los Angeles.
I listened in on a conference call with Robin Ventura before the game, and he said he was disappointed and he was sad. He said, because I just loved putting on that uniform. He says, and it was a clubhouse of a great bunch of guys and a great organization. He said, I love coming to Yankee Stadium. I love the people that work there. He said, this is the tough part of the business. He said, was I surprised? Yes. He said, but then when I heard the rumors after last night's game that the Yankees were interested in acquiring Aaron Boone, I figured that if they got him, I wasn't going to be here because Boone's a third baseman. He said, but it all happened so suddenly, and I'm sorry it did. He said, because I'm really sorry to be leaving. But if I had to go anywhere, as you said, it's good to go to the Dodgers because that's where I grew up and that's where I live. And if you saw the press conference with Aaron Boone in Cincinnati, his goodbye press conference, he broke down. He was so saddened. He's a big force in that community. He does a lot of charity work, and his dad had been the manager and was fired a couple of days ago. And that's really all he ever knew. And he got emotional at the end of the press conference, just broke down. But when he spoke to the New York writers, he said, I cannot believe how honored I am to be joining the New York Yankees. Right back under the glove of Wells. Jeter's there. He fires to first, and that will do it. Here in the second inning, you score that 1-6-3 because Wells got just a piece. While the Angels take the lead, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 2 full innings at Edison Field as the Angels won, the Yankees nothing. Here on Yes.
On the Emmy Award-winning Yankeeography, Mr. October, Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson.
He had a big burn inside to be the best home run hitter in the world.
Yankeeography Reggie Jackson premieres Sunday at 7:30, only on Yes.
Tomorrow night, it's big plays, big games, and big dreams. And the Little League State Championships continue on Yes. The battle for New York begins when the Sluggers of Ramapo take on the Big Bats from Vestal for the state championship and a chance to head to the big show in Williamsport. The excitement continues with the New York State Championship tomorrow night at 7 right here on Yes. We go to the third inning. Angels lead 1-0, and Dave DeLucci gets his first at-bat as a Yankee. The 0-1. A little bit low. DeLucci acquired from the Diamondbacks for Raul Mondesi. And he will see some time out in right field. He, Kareem Garcia, and Ruben Sierra. Now, one thing, and we reminded you of this during the post-game yesterday, just because there's a trade deadline, and you see the bio info on Dave DeLucci, who's from Baton Rouge, and originally with the Orioles, selected in the 10th round, made his debut for the Orioles in '97. And they acquired him in a trade, the Arizona Diamondbacks did, on July 29th of 2003. The Yankees acquired him from a trade from Arizona. He was selected in the entry draft from the Orioles from Arizona. That's how he ended up with the Diamondbacks.
Well, he hasn't played since last Sunday. I was talking to him before today's ball game, and even though Kareem Garcia has good numbers against Sele, he's like 8 for 15 lifetime. It's pretty typical of Joe Torre to try to get a new member into the lineup as soon as possible. Like you said, Michael, he's going to get some playing time in the outfield.
3-2. He walked.
I think the New York fans are going to like this Dave DeLucci. He's fundamentally sound. He knows how to run the bases. He knows how to play the outfield. He knows what he needs to do when he goes to home plate. Even though he's been sort of a platoon player and a guy that comes off the bench over the National League, he can handle that. He knows about that. He knows what he needs to do, even though he doesn't like it and doesn't accept it. But he won't cause any problems at the clubhouse because of it.
Here's Enrique Wilson getting his second straight start. Anyway, finishing the thought about the trade deadline, all that means is now, in order to make a deal, you've got to make a deal and get a player through waivers. If you try to get a player through waivers and that player is claimed, obviously you can't trade him. But here's the caveat this year. A strike to Wilson. because teams are so unwilling to take on money, I think they'd be somewhat reluctant to stake any claims off a waiver wire. Because if a big money player is put on the waiver wire and then a team trades him with the express purpose of blocking, the team that put him on the waiver wire might say, okay, good, you got him. And the pitch is outside. And I think teams do not want to gamble and do that. And I really believe the trade deadline this year is possibly closer to August 31st than July 31st, simply because you want a player on your roster by the end of August, so he's going to be on your roster for the playoffs. And I think you'll be able to make a lot of trades after the trade deadline, simply because nobody wants to be saddled with any more money.
Well, you can put a player on waivers, the team, and if he gets claimed, you can pull him back off the waivers if you want to.
And
you can
then
only do it one time.
Right.
If they put him on the second time, then he's gone. If he gets claimed.
And again, you might be putting him on just to get him through, and the team that claims it really doesn't want him. They just don't want another team to get him. But then if you put that claim in, and Bobby brought this up on the postgame last night, what happened with Randy Myers with the Padres, the Blue Jays put him on, and he had a big contract, $6 million a year, and he was not a good pitcher anymore. And the Padres thought that the Braves were going to claim him, so they put in a claim just to stop it. And then the Blue Jays said, okay, you got him.
Yeah.
And they got saddled with the money that year and the $6 million in the next year, and that was an awful claim for them.
Yeah, it really becomes more of a cat and mouse game, not so much today as it was years ago because of the money issue. I mean, if you put in a claim today,
line right at the second baseman. Kennedy fires the first, not in time. DeLucci got back.
What you're saying is, if you put in a claim today, you better be willing to take that player, not to do it just to keep somebody else from getting him. Ball was hit hard by Wilson, and a nice heads-up play by DeLucci. Quickly getting back to first base. Lee Mazzilli will make the call for you. We couldn't see him there, but in that last shot, he was given the safe call.
Here's Soriano, who struck out in the first inning on a breaking ball down and away. That one is tapped in front of the plate, fielded by Molina, and fires to first. Just got him. Molina's got some arm. He didn't have that much of an angle. Soriano cannot believe he got thrown out. Walks back to the Yankee dugout with his hands on his hips. So he is now 0 for 2.
You can see why Molina has won a Gold Glove. Big guy can really move, and that barehanded pickup, he knows about Soriano's speed and throws the ball inside the bag to allow his first baseman Quinlan to make a nice clean pickup. Watch this submarine throw, but it's inside the bag.
Soriano is now 3 for his last 28. DeLucci moves to second, scoring position for Derek Jeter, who's at the plate. Jeter walked in the first inning. Popped up right side, giving chase as Quinlan in foul territory, but he runs out of room. It's odd to see Soriano so lost, Bobby.
He is lost, and he's trying to pull everything now. He had moved up on the plate to try to cover the outside part of the plate, and that was a breaking ball, and he was trying to pull that, and that's the reason he hit it on the end of the bat.
When you're in a slump, you just tie your mind in knots, and you can see just from that shot, that's exactly what he's doing. And that's why slumps go on longer than they really should, because you start to try to solve everything in your mind, and you probably foul yourself up more.
Well, the thing that you don't want to do is to start trying a whole lot of different things, you know, from what you were doing and doing successfully earlier in the year. Rick Down knows that. They've been working on it. They've been talking about it. And one thing that it does more so than anything else, it ruins your darn confidence when you go to home plate. You know, you go up there worrying about, well, I don't want to try to pull this pitch, and I want to make sure I go the opposite way with it. Well, you begin to start to analyze it, and you don't react to it. So your mind really plays a lot of games with you.
Count 3-1.
Soriano doesn't walk the home plate like he used to walk the home plate earlier in the year. Remember how loose and relaxed, kind of kicking his toes on the dirt. Giambi has struggled, but now he has found his timing.
Sometimes it takes a while. Jeter swings and misses. Good breaking ball by Sele in the count 3-2.
Well, the Yankees haven't had it since the first part of the year when they've had everybody in this lineup pretty much swinging the bat like they're capable of doing it. You take a look at the July average in leaders. My goodness, Jeter hitting .429 in the month of July, and he's still a few points behind the guy that got the biggest lead, .450, Ordonez. Every hitter's going to go into a slump, Michael. It's just the good hitters don't stay in them that much longer. A lot of guys will slump, for a month, maybe a month and a half.
Grounded through the right side for a base hit. Here comes DeLucci. Here's the throw from Owens. It is not in time. Jeter goes to second. He's in there on the throw. An RBI single for Derek Jeter. And the Yankees have tied the Angels at 1.
Excellent base running by the Yankees. And Jeter fighting that pitch off inside to right field. Good play by Eric Owens out there. He came up with it quickly, made a nice throw, but DeLucci's speed got in underneath the throw, and Jeter, knowing that ball going into home, he just took second base and put himself in the scoring position. So DeLucci scores his first New York Yankee run.
And gets his first Yankee uniform dirty. Jeter took a little bit of a chance because Owens made a good throw in terms of it could have been cut off.
Well, here's what I think about that. I as a runner, as a guy like Jeter, I want them to cut the ball off, because they cut the ball off, we're going to score the run.
So even if you get thrown out, you're cool with it.
Absolutely.
So that's what he was thinking, obviously, because it could have been caught up. Here's Giambi. Swing and a miss. Giambi with 83 runs batted in. That's 5th in the American League. Delgado leads. Vernon Wells second, so a pair of teammates with 200 runs batted in. Garrett Anderson and Brett Boone are tied with 87.
200
for 2. 2 months to go. That one gets away from Molina, and moving to third is Derek Jeter. That'll be a wild pitch.
Going to be about a 55-footer. That's the first ball that we've seen hit the dirt or hit in front of the home plate area that Molina let get by. Everything else, he has scooped out the dirt or blocked it. Ivan Rodriguez finally got traded out of the American League. That opened the floodgates up for Molina as far as the Gold Glove is concerned. He's got some soft hands back there and a strong arm. Something that Mike Scioscia picked up very early on.
They have the shift on with Giambi at the plate. Now that the runner has moved to third, Eckstein is actually on the second base side of the bag. And only Benji Gill on the left side. Giambi gets to go back to his old stomping grounds tomorrow. The Yankees start a 3-game set against the Oakland Athletics. The 2-2. That's driven into center field. Right there is Darren Erstad. They had it played perfectly, and that'll do it in the third inning for the Yankees. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. Yankees 1 and the Angels 1. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Thursday, August 7th, the first 18,000 fans 14 and under will receive a 100th anniversary student binder courtesy of Nathan's Famous. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Sunday night at 7:30 on Yes. Go inside the pinstripes with a look at the life and career of Yankees legend Reggie Jackson on an all-new episode of the Emmy Award-winning series Yankeeography. He's a fan favorite and a Hall of Famer who provided some of the most memorable moments in World Series history. See the story of Mr. October on Yankeeography, Reggie Jackson, premiering Sunday night at 7:30 right here on Yes. There's Reggie in the booth right next door to us here at Edison Field. He's been here for all 3 games. And the pitch to Eric Owens from David Wells is a strike. Owens, the number 9 hitter. This is his first time up tonight. Wells gave up a run in the second. Yankees came right back and got a run back in the top of the 3rd. Another strike. 0-2. One 1-0 Yanks, 1-2-0 for the Angels. The 0-2 is ripped foul. The big buzz here in Anaheim in all the papers today, and it happened yesterday, is that the Angels released Kevin Appier. And with that release, they ate the largest amount of money that any team has ever eaten on a player that they let go. The previous record was the Tigers earlier this year, when they let go of Damian Easley. I believe they owed him about $13.4 million. But with the release of Kevin Appier, the Angels are going to pay him $15 million not to pitch for them. He has another year left on his contract, and obviously these final 2 months of this season. And that is quite a financial commitment for a team to make, considering that in all likelihood, this Angel team is not going anywhere this year. That's Bill Stoneman, the GM of the Angels, who made the decision and then had to present it to ownership, which was behind the decision. Ground ball at 3rd. Nice play on the glove side by Wilson. Fires across the diamond, 1 away.
Well, they considered it to be a spot that was opened up for Scott Shields, who's going to take over the rotation spot. We'll take a look at Enrique Wilson, who can play all these positions on the infield. And manning that 3rd base side there until Aaron Boone shows up in Oakland tomorrow night. Nice play by Enrique.
The agent for Kevin Appier is a gentleman by the name of Jeff Boris, not to be confused with Scott Boris, but Jeff Boris said that the reason that Appier has not been pitching well is because he has tendonitis in his elbow. And then he made this statement. He said, that's the most expensive case of tendonitis I've ever seen. Yeah, it's expensive for the Angels. Kevin Appier is still going to get his money. Be interesting to see if anybody takes a chance and picks him up. Driven out to left field and deep. Giving chase is Matsui. He's there, 2 away.
I would say the chances are pretty good that Appier will be picked up by somebody. I heard that the St. Louis Cardinals may have some interest in Appier. I mean, he's a veteran guy. He's been around, and you know, somebody for the minimum will take a shot.
It's interesting about this game because one team doesn't think they can make it happen with a player. There's always another team out there that thinks that they can solve the problem. And Dave Duncan is considered a very good pitching coach with the Cardinals, and maybe they think they can do it. They're familiar with his work when he was with the Royals, and Tony La Russa and Duncan were in their same roles with the Oakland A's.
Well, it's you know, it's some clubs that may have some holes that they need to fill for a short period of time.
That one's hit deep to right, going back to Lucci, and a nice running play as he runs up against the wall for the final out of the inning. Erstad gave it a ride, but DeLucci got a great jump and hauled it in right on the warning track and then held on as he ran into the wall. A splendid play by David DeLucci. We go to the 4th. It's 1-1. Well, we go to the 4th inning. Yankees and the Angels are tied at 1. Yankees celebrating in the dugout. David DeLucci's splendid play to end the 3rd. Bernie Williams leads off, and there's a strike. Williams fouled out down the left field line. A pretty running play by Garrett Anderson right next to the stands. 1-1-0 for the Yanks. 1-2-0 for the Angels. It's Sele against David Wells. Yankees trying to sweep this 3-game set. Count 1-1. How disappointing it must have been for Aaron Sele last year. Every player wants to be on a World Series team, and he got hurt right before the season ended and wasn't there for the playoffs and certainly wasn't there for the World Series.
It didn't take long for DeLucci to get a handshake from every member of this starting staff. They appreciated that great play that he made in right field. Everybody coming over to congratulate him.
Hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Bernie Williams. Cutting it off in the gap is Erstad. Bernie makes a turn at first. He'll stop right there. So a single to lead off the 4th inning for the Yankee center fielder. Time now for the Aflac trivia question. Top of the 4th inning. That's when we do it. And tonight's question, David Wells needs just 3 wins to reach 200 for his career. Who was the last pitcher to win his 200th game as a Yankee? Now, we know the last pitcher to win his 300th game as a Yankee. That was last night's starter, Roger Clemens. But his 200th? Not quite sure. We'll know in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Hideki Matsui. Now that base hit for Bernie Williams was his 1900th in his career. It's a little bit of a milestone for Bernie. They didn't get the ball for him, but 1,900 base hits for Bernie Williams. 1,100 away from the magic 3,000. Along with Bobby Murcer, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on this Thursday evening on the Yes Network, and we certainly thank you for that. We thank you for staying up late with us here on the West Coast. No, last year the Yankees were really kidding Bernie, and Derek Jeter was doing most of the kidding. It was around the batting cage one day. He said, Bernie, you've got a shot at 3,000. You've got to stay healthy, and if you get to 3,000, you're going to go to the Hall of Fame. And Bernie had told me, he said, you know, I never even thought along those lines. Now, the injury this year takes 2 months away from him. But if he could play 5 more seasons, Bobby, he's got a chance at 3,000 hits.
I don't know why he could play 5 more years. He's strong, he's healthy, he keeps himself in good shape. He plays on a good ball club. He gets an opportunity to hit behind and in front of some good players that keep the action and the line moving. Plus, he's a switch hitter, and he hits basically the same from both sides.
And the pitch is outside, so Matsui walks.
He threw all fastballs to Matsui, and all fastballs were outside. That's going to bring out Bud Black, the pitching coach. Now the Yankees with their first 2 men on, nobody out here in the 4th inning.
Bud Black, who was so highly thought of following the season last year, he actually interviewed for a lot of jobs and managerial jobs, and he had a chance in the minds of many. But now it's incredible how your stock can fall. The Angels are struggling pitching-wise. Now, the bullpen's done a great job, but the starters have not done it. Now, does that mean that Bud Black is not as much of a candidate? We'll have to see at the end of the season. But last year, he was on the top 5 list of everybody that needed a manager.
Well, you see 2 of the very promising young starters. That Jared Washburn, the left-hander, that's on the left side. And John Lackey, who pitched last night, took the loss. He was not very effective, especially early in the game. They got a lot of money invested in Aaron Sele, too. And last year, they actually waited until October to let Sele have his rotator cuff surgery. I mean, he was fighting it all year long. They put him on the disabled list, and he was on for a month, 2 months. And then finally, they decided to go ahead and have the surgery, and they weren't even sure if he was going to be ready to start spring training.
Well, you're certainly pushing the envelope if you do it that late.
I mean, the surgery has been refined so well, but nevertheless, that's still a major surgery to your arm.
Fouled away, 1-1. Yankee fans will be interested in this score. Boston and Texas 3-3 now in the bottom of the 10th inning. Texas had a 3-2 lead going into the 9th in that one. Boston tied it up. But it's now 3-3 in the bottom of the 10th. Yankees come into the action tonight 2.5 games ahead of the second place Red Sox. Sele keeps missing outside in the count 2-1. Yankees in this series have done a much better job than they did in the Red Sox series. They were 6 for 35 with runners in scoring position in Boston. And here in this series, the Yankees are 9 for 20 in these situations with 13 runs batted in. Foul back, and the Angels in the same situations 1 for 11.
That type of hitting, that situational hitting, will win you a lot of ball games. The Yankees are going to put those runners on base. It's just a matter of fact, matter of whether they're going to knock them in or not. And they've got guys that are patient at home plate. They've got guys that are contact hitters. Matsui has been about the best with the bases loaded with that runner, especially with a runner at third base with less than 2 outs.
Still 2-2. Sele fakes to second. Bernie Williams at second. Hideki Matsui is at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. The game is tied at 1. The Yankees looking for their first sweep here in Anaheim since 1994. Two-two. High pop-up. Kept them off balance and got him with a pop-up to the shortstop. Eckstein's there, 1 away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees.
Talked about Kevin Appier when he was released and all the money that they're going to have to continue to pay Appier, even though he's not going to be here. In 2002, when they signed Aaron Sele off the free agent market, he was the highest paid pitcher off the free agent market in the history of the Angels. They signed him to 3 years and $24 million. He was a guy that they felt like that could eat a lot of innings for him. I mean, he was pitching 200+ innings every year. Thought he could win at least 15 games. They were hoping he could win 15 games and maybe work with some of their younger pitchers. And he ran into those arm problems.
Not a great ratio for Sele, less strikes than balls. And that one is laced to left field. Giving chase is Anderson, and he makes a nice running play. Basket over the shoulder play for the second out as the Yankee runners retreat. That's an outstanding play. Remember, a left-handed batter hit that ball, so it's slicing away from Anderson, stayed with it and hauled it in for the second out.
Well, one good thing about Garrett Anderson, we know he's a fine outfielder, very solid out there, but he's also a left-hander, so his glove side is on the right side to be better able to catch that slicing ball going away from him. He makes one of those basket catches and actually makes it look pretty easy. We've seen some fine plays already in this game, one in left field, one in right field.
Here's David DeLucci. He scored the Yankees' only run after walking in the 3rd inning, and he also made a great play in right field. First start as a Yankee, first appearance as a Yankee. He was in uniform yesterday, and the pitch is inside.
Setty's power is the opposite way, up the middle and the opposite way. Even though he like every other left-hander, they like the ball low and in. He said, I still like the ball low and in, but I sort of inside out it.
Check swing, nothing doing.
I said, well, what do you know about Aaron Sele? He said, well, I don't know a whole lot about him. And I said, well, what have you done? He said, well, I've studied, looked a little bit of the tape, and Rick Down and I talked about it. And he said, I said, well, what are you going to do when you go up there? And he says, I'm going to do this like everybody does. I'm going to look for the fastball and adjust to the breaking stuff.
told you he scored the only run, also made his mark in the field.
Absolutely, and what a fine play. We said it was a good play in left field by Garrett Anderson. Check this one out. That saved the Yankees a run. Good jump and good speed.
Strike on the outside corner. He found some humor in the fact that he's wearing number 11, which was the old number for former Yankee manager Buck Showalter, who was DeLucci's manager with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He said, I'm sure Buck's going to tell me that I have to wear it with pride. And I said, well, remind Buck that Chuck Knobloch had it after him. The 2-2, a little bit low, 3-2. So that releases the runners. 3-2 count with 2 outs.
Everybody that comes to this organization now, be it trade, be it free agent market, whatever, they all talk about the pride of the pinstripes. They talk about playing for the Yankee organization and how happy they are to be able to join an organization such as this. And every player wants a chance to be on a world championship club. And when you put those pinstripes on now, you got that chance.
Runners go and the ball is fouled off. For you numerologists out there that might be wondering, well, what number's Boone going to get? What number's Gabe White going to get? I have researched that. Aaron Boone will be number 19, which is the number that Robin Ventura had. And Gabe White will be number 40, which is the number that Danny Sele had.
Thank you.
People care about that stuff, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on top of it.
3-2. Line to right field coming on is Owens. He's there and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. So Aaron Sele gets out of a jam. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 1-1 game.
Champions World presents the 2003 Italian Super Cup. Come see AC Milan battle Juventus at Giant Stadium on Sunday, August 3rd at 3 p.m. Get your tickets on Ticketmaster.com or at the Stadium box office. Be there.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees and the Angels are tied at 1. Garrett Anderson will dig in, and as he does, we give you the Aflac Trivia answer. David Wells needs 3 wins to reach 200 for his career. Who was the last Yankee pitcher to win his 200th as a Yankee? Tommy John in 1980. About that. Anderson laces one down the right field line. Fair ball, it's trouble. It's a fair ball, it's trouble. Bounces into the seats for a ground rule double. A leadoff double for Garrett Anderson.
Well, Anderson doesn't consider himself a pull hitter, but when he takes batting practice, he loves to take batting practice from a left-handed pitcher. Because he says that it keeps him from trying to pull the ball off the right-hander, and from the left side, he tries to go up the middle the opposite way. But that was a breaking ball. He got out in front and turned the wrist over, found the double.
Here's Sean Wooten. They want him to hit the ball to the right side, move the runner. Let's see if he can do that. Wells is trying to get him not to do that. Starts him off inside with a strike. Wooten really looks as if he's put on some weight from last year. He is really bulky. Stocky right-handed power hitter.
I thought he was about the same size.
You thought he was this big last year?
I did. I did. Mike Socha was saying, you know, Wooten has been played because of some of their frontline players. You know, Troy Gloss is on the shelf. Tim Salmon is out with a sore back, and Wooten has been forced to play more games than what he is used to. It's almost like spring training for him. He played 9 consecutive games, and finally Socha had to give him a day off.
That one is laced to left field, giving chase is Matsui. He's there on the run, and Anderson hustles back to second, 1 away. So Wooten does not get the job done.
Boy, the jumps that these outfielders are getting on these balls are incredible tonight. Matsui was on the move the moment that ball left the bat.
Here's Rob Quinlan. 5 for 11 in this series against the Yanks. And he pops it up right side. Soriano drifts onto the outfield grass. 2 away.
Quinlan a little bit late on that fastball. You know, the boomer, he gives you such that that soft windup, and then all of a sudden he delivers that, shoots that 90+ mile an hour fastball after it'll get right in on your hands.
Wells looks so much sharper than he did Friday against the Red Sox at Fenway. Better command, working quicker, better pacing, and the pitch to Molina is inside and low. Count 1-1.
Well, it's that left leg, and that's the one that he braces and pushes off on. That sciatic nerve, you know, you could feel that nerve. It runs all the way down. I can't even get over there that far, but in that area right there and all the way down your leg. Yeah, but it's really irritated. I mean, it is extremely painful. Not a whole lot you can do about it. You know, do some exercising, take some anti-inflammatories, medicine to try to keep the inflammation down as much as possible.
1-1. Grounded foul. Now Molina is very difficult to get out in these situations because he's second in the American League with a .373 batting average with runners in scoring position. In these situations, he's 28 for 75. Sign of a good hitter when his average is that much higher in pressure situations than normal. He's a .284 hitter, but .373 in these situations. 1-2. Up and away, 2-2. Anderson leads off second with 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees 1, Angels 1, bottom of the 4th. That one's driven deep to left field. Going back, Matsui on the run. He's there and he makes the play. On the warning track, another fine jump by an outfielder in this game. Anderson, DeLucci, and Hideki Matsui. And Matsui ends the inning with a nice running play on Benji Molina. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left. We go to the 5th. It's 1-1. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Sunday, August 10th, the first 18,000 fans 14 and under in attendance will receive a cool pair of Yankee sunglasses courtesy of Verizon Wireless. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
I'm Fred Hickman, the studio update brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Well, the Red Sox starting their day 2.5 games behind the Yankees, playing the Rangers top 9. Trot Nixon, the clutch solo homer to tie the game at 3. 2 outs, top of the 11th, all even at 3. We head back to the Ed, Michael and Bobby.
Well, thank you, Fred. We go to the top of the 5th inning here. This is also knotted up. It's 1-1. And for the Yankees, it'll be 9-1-2 against Aaron Sele, Enrique Wilson, Alfonso Soriano, and Derek Jeter. And the pitch to Wilson is a strike.
Well, both clubs in the last inning missing opportunities to score a run. David Wells pitched down to that leadoff double.
Wilson lined out to second. That was in the 3rd. Playing third base today against Sele as a ball gets loose out in right field. Playing third base against Sele simply because Robin Ventura's not here. So it was a choice between Wilson or Todd Zeile, and they go with the switch hitting Wilson against the right-hander. Zeile has had a very tough year. The 1-1. There's the strike. And I'm sure the trade of Ventura is tough on Zeile, both of them very close friends. But again, it is a business. The 1-2. Hit sharply to short. Eckstein, field, set, Spires, got him, 1 away.
One of the rare times that you'll see Eckstein actually get on top of the ball to throw it over to first base. Not blessed with the greatest arm, but he gets rid of the ball quickly. They may feel that Eckstein would be better at second base than he is at shortstop with the arm that he has. Excuse me, I was just going to say Meziga, who played last night, could be their future shortstop if he hits enough.
Here's Soriano, who's 0 for 2, and now his average, as you can see, is dipped below 280. 3 for his last 28, 8 for his last 43. We told you that Soriano sat out yesterday's game, and he actually went up to Joe Torre before the game yesterday and said, "Are you keeping me out of the game because you guys might trade me?" And Torre looked at him. He said, "Just get yourself a rest." But it tells you what enters players' minds. When I looked at Soriano, I said, "You didn't really think that you were going to get traded?" And he said, "Oh, I'm just kidding."
You see how Soriano crowds the plate, and normally you'd make him try to hit that ball right in there, and he gets up there so he can hit the ball on the outside part of the plate. But when they throw it out there, he's still trying to. He's either outside and trying to pull it. But he moved up there to try to protect the outside part of the plate for those breaking balls, such as Sele threw right there. But he's so conscious of that out there now that he's unable, when they throw the ball in here and they're trying to tie him up, he's unable to pull the trigger. He's even getting jammed on the inside pitch.
There's a line drive to left center field. That is going to dunk in for a base hit. So Soriano gets his first base hit of this series, a 1-out single here in the fifth. Let's see if he does some running. And with the Angels, that's tough because Molina is so good behind the plate.
Yeah, Molina has thrown out about half of the guys that tried to steal on him. You can see that was a hanging breaking ball. Soriano caught it off the end of the bat and just kind of muscled it out into left center field.
Here's Derek Jeter, 1 for 1 with a walk. Also drove in the Yankees' only run. His single drove in David DeLucci from second. Soft ground ball up the middle. Eckstein Field steps on second, one on to first. A double play, a nice backhanded scoop by Rob Quinlan to end the inning. That is a tough pair to double up Derek Jeter and Alfonso Soriano, but the Angels did it on a slow roller. Eckstein took it himself, sidearm throw, and a nice scoop at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through, 1-1. A crescent moon overhead, and we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's 1-1. Benji Gill takes a pitch outside from David Wells. Well, it's been 3 beautiful days for the Yankees and the Angel games, and each game has been sold out. The 20th sellout for the Angels this year. They have reached 2 million fans. They did that on Tuesday in their 54th game, the earliest in their history. Previous, they had done it in 58 games, so they will set an all-time record in attendance. They're 3rd in the American League this year, average attendance. Benji Gill had a nice season for the champions last year, but you can see he's not done the job. He has lost his part-time job at second base. He would start against lefties. Adam Kennedy would sit. It was a platoon, but not anymore. Gill just doesn't seem like he has his stroke at the plate.
First time he's ever played third base. And Benji Gill is, he's played shortstop. He's played second. He's played third tonight for the first time.
High chop at a third, fielded there by Wilson. He has a tough play, fires, got him. Showing a very good arm at third base. Enrique Wilson guns down Gill for the first out of the fifth.
A lot of those high hoppers around home plate. From an infielder standpoint, you know that you're going to have to get rid of this ball very quickly when you finally get it in your glove. Gill with the Texas Rangers, he was touted as one of those shortstops of the future. It just never did pan out for him. He's fairly big for a shortstop. A lot bigger than Eckstein is.
Kennedy chops one to second. Nice big hop there for Soriano. Flips to Giambi. 2 away. Hey, fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Sunday, August 10th, as the first 18,000 fans 14 and under in attendance will receive Yankee sunglasses courtesy of Verizon Wireless. And you also see the Yankees against the Mariners. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. Call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. Here's Eric Owens. Bunted down the third baseline and foul. He had Wilson playing deep and decided to give it a shot. But just a foul ball.
Well, with 2 outs and you bunt to get on, you almost have to steal second base with your leadoff hitter coming up.
And there's the man in motion, David Eckstein.
Nervous Nelly.
Perpetual motion, never stops. The 0-1. Another try at a bunt. This one's popped up to Wilson. Usually you try once, you don't go at it again.
Bad play.
Not a good play at all. 1-2-3 inning for David Wells. He's retired the last 6 in a row. Let's go to the 6. Yankees 1, Angels 1.
It's Yankees baseball on Yes. Tomorrow, it's a showdown at sunset in the Wild Wild West as the Yankees duel Oakland and their young guns. Join Fred Hickman for complete pregame coverage tomorrow beginning at 9:30 only on Yes.
Hey fans, Wednesday night on Yes shifted to high gear as Richard Petty joins my colleague Michael Kay on an all-new center stage. Get an inside look at the triumphs and tragedies of this racing legend. It's an hour of high-paced entertainment. That's on center stage. Richard Petty premiering Wednesday at 10:30. And it's exclusively right here on Yes.
Richard Petty, a pretty good guy. A fun show, so tune in. Giambi leads off the 6th inning. It's 1-1. The lines are identical, 1-3-0 to 1-3-0. Wells and Sele have hooked up in a pitcher's duel. Count 2-0 on Giambi. Giambi's 0 for 2 against Sele. Leads the Yankees in homers, leads the Yankees in RBIs. There's a strike and a count 2-1.
Ooh, boy, you just got to wonder what Giambi was looking for there on that 2-ball, no-strike count. That looked like that was in his wheelhouse.
Sele has thrown 84 pitches here. Bernie Williams on deck. Like all the Angel pitchers we've seen, he avoids the strike zone. They seem to be somewhat bat shy. So there's a walk to Giambi.
In this game so far, Aaron Sele has had 7 3-ball counts, and David Wells has had, you know how many?
None.
0.
Here's Bernie Williams. Bernie's 1 for 2. Fouled out down the left field line. Nice running play by Garrett Anderson, and then a clean single to center field to start off the 4th inning. Breaking ball strike.
The Yankees have gotten their leadoff man on in every inning except for the 1st inning. And the only time they scored was back in the 3rd with that leadoff walk to DeLucci.
Breaking ball, nice scoop by Molina, and tries to throw behind Giambi. But Mike Victor, the first base umpire, lost his balance, made a slide, and signaled safe at the same time. That's why he's got a little bit of a grin there. Pretty nifty move by Mike Victor.
Well, you also see another nifty move by Benji Molina with those soft hands behind home plate. That's what allowed this throw down to first base. Well, he scoops them about as good as any infielder I've ever seen.
Count 3-1. This is a count that Joe Torre has run on before, but not a great combination for the Yankees because of Giambi. If Bernie Williams swings and misses, well, Giambi's going to get thrown out at second by Benji Molina. But by running Giambi, maybe you stay out of the double play. Maybe you also open up a hole in the infield. Let's see if the Yankees do it. Good hit and run count. They do not. And that one is skied to center field. Erstad, one away. Giambi played it halfway. He'll head back to first.
I think you have to know your hitter up there in order to be able to run on a 3-1 count. Nobody out. A lot of guys who are patient, such as Bernie Williams, a very patient hitter, and in that count he becomes a very offensive hitter. And he's looking for a certain pitch in a certain area that he wants to drive, and he doesn't get it, he's probably going to take it. So you got to really know your hitter to be able to start that runner.
Here's Matsui. He has walked twice, so yet to officially come to bat. Red Sox and the Rangers have gone to the bottom of the 11th inning in Arlington, and that game is still tied at 3. There's a strike. All alone with his thoughts.
Just hanging out in the bullpen. I mean, in the dugout.
Runner was going that time. Matsui fouled it back.
1-1 count, and the hit and run was on.
It is amazing how a really good catcher does make you somewhat hesitant about putting those plays on. You see the pitch count on Aaron Sele, 47-46. That's not a good ratio. The Yankees have worked the count very well. But Molina makes you think once, twice, 3 times about sending a runner.
Well, that was the hit and run. That's up to the hitter to protect that runner. I mean, the runner's not trying to steal the base. He's actually off with the pitch, and it's up to the hitter to put the ball in play.
But it does put a tremendous amount of pressure on the hitter, because if you swing and miss, you're done with Molina. Frankie Rodriguez warming up in the bullpen. High fly ball to center field. Erstad, 2 down. Yankees seem just a little bit off balance against Aaron Sele. Last night started John Lackey through 93, 94, 95. Aaron Sele, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. 88 fastball, breaking ball, and the Yankees just do not seem like they're on his pitches.
It's not the Aaron Sele that was pitching back in 1999 when he was averaging almost 9 strikeouts per game, and since '99, every year the strikeout total has just decreased, gone down, gone down, gone down. 3.9 this year per 9 innings pitched for strikeouts. And he's only got 1 strikeout in this game.
It does make you wonder, Bobby. You mentioned, and you see the numbers Bobby's talking about, how the Angels gave him a 3-year, $24 million deal. Remember, he was with the Mariners, and when he became a free agent, he's from Washington. He wanted to stay there. He probably would have given him a hometown discount, and Pat Gillick did not want him back. Nothing personal, just didn't think that he was going to help the Mariners. That should have sent out a signal. He eventually broke down last year.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, he ended up with the largest free agent signed contract for a pitcher in Angels history. 3 years of $24 million. They had a lot of money tied up to Kevin Appier and Aaron Sele.
Now it looks like they're going to go the young route, and Scott Shields will take the place of Kevin Appier in the rotation. And the Pat Gillick, there's Scott right there, who pitched in the first game. Pat Gillick, the GM of the Seattle Mariners. Remember a couple of years ago, Sele was having an unbelievable first half of the year in Seattle. I think he made the All-Star team as well. And Ken Singleton and I were walking down the corridor with Pat Gillick, and we were remarking what a great first half Aaron Sele's had. Pat Gillick shrugged his shoulders and says, I really don't know how he's doing it.
Really?
Ground ball to second. They'll go the short way, and that will do it. As the Yankees are out here in the top of the sixth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's 1-1.
Commemorate a century of baseball excellence with 100 years, the official retrospective of the New York Yankees. From Murderer's Row of 1927 to the modern dynasties, here is an inimitable portrait of America's team. Just $50 at Yankee Stadium, or by calling 1-800-GO-YANKS. Also available at leading retailers nationwide.
Oh, a beautiful night became a little bit nicer for the Yankees. Why? Because Alex Rodriguez, the all-star shortstop for the Texas Rangers, just cracked a grand slam in the bottom of the 11th inning. And the Rangers beat the Red Sox 7-3. So if the Yankees can beat the Angels, they'll have a 3.5 game lead as they go into a very tough weekend series against the Oakland Athletics, where the Athletics are going to pitch their big three, Hudson, Zito, and Mulder.
That'll be a fun series up in Oakland.
The 0-1 to Eckstein. There's a strike. And the 0-2 pitch. Grounded right side, ranging forward to his right is Giambi, and he flips the... Whoa! Oh, what a play by Wells. One away.
What a play by Jason Giambi and David Wells. You talk about loosening that sciatic nerve up. This will loosen it up for you. Giambi ranging wide of first base, and he has to throw back across his body fairly low, and Wells at full stride reaches down and makes the grab and touches the bag. Now, one thing that Giambi did do for him, he threw the ball hard, but he wanted to make sure he got it to him as soon as possible. One more look at it. I would say that's a pretty darn good play there.
Posada and Wilson just had a long conference on the pitcher's mound, and all they were talking about was, David, you tell us when you're catching your breath. So they gave him some time to get his wind back. Nice play by Wells. Here's Darren Erstad. A little bit low. You know, you look at Wells, Bobby, and you would automatically think he's not a great athlete, but he happens to be a tremendous athlete, and he fields his position very well for a guy his size.
Well, most of the players today, they have those really tight-fitted uniforms, you know, very tailored. He likes that bulky uniform, especially the top part of it. And from that point, you know, David carries a little weight with him to go along with that. So when you look at him, you would think, well, he just doesn't have the moves in order to be able to move that well out fielding a ground ball or running down a play such as the one he just did.
Erstad lines a single to center field. The Angels' 4th base hit.
Erstad, another guy that has been struggling. This is what you like to see if you're a guy like Mickey Hatcher, the hitting instructor, especially lefty-lefty, thinking about driving that ball up the middle.
Here's Garrett Anderson. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is not nearly in time. Erstad had a great jump. Posada had no chance. He had to throw from his knees, and it wasn't close.
9th stolen base for Erstad. You're right. Watch him take the jump, and he's got a huge one. Posada tried it with the throw down to second, but no chance. And that's what Mike Scioscia likes from Eckstein and also Erstad. Erstad being out almost a month and a half the season with his 9th stolen base.
Might not be a bad idea not to intentionally walk him, but certainly not give him anything to hit with first base open. With the count now 0-2.
He would certainly be the most dangerous hitter in this lineup tonight, and especially if you look at the numbers that we showed you earlier, what he has career-wise against David Wells. And, you know, whether it's lefty-lefty matchup or lefty-righty matchup, he hits just about everybody well. People are finally beginning to notice who Garrett Anderson is.
You said something yesterday which really does ring true. You look up at a lineup before a game and you go, okay, this guy is not going to beat me. Well, there's one guy in this lineup with all the injuries. Gloss is out and Salmon's out. He's the one guy you don't want to have beat you. And with the stolen base, it almost gives you an excuse to pitch around him. And those numbers also ring very loudly in the ears of Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre. But when you have him 0-2, I guess the competitive instinct is, well, let's go after him. He just happens to be a very dangerous batter.
Very dangerous, and he's one of those guys, if you do make a mistake, he normally makes you pay for it. Anderson has been hitting fourth in this lineup almost all year long, but tonight Mike Scioscia has moved him up in the third slot and has Wooten as a designated hitter hitting fourth.
The 0-2 just missed outside. Wells once again very economical with his pitches. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out, and he's thrown just 73 total pitches. 55 strikes, 18 out of the zone. Outstanding ratio. The 1-2. Grounded right alongside the first baseline. Giambi fields, he'll step on first, beats Anderson there. Moving to third is Erstad. So they get the dangerous Garrett Anderson. Now Wells has to try to get out Sean Wooten.
I don't think those pitchers don't look over into the batting circle and see who's on deck too. You know, you got Sean Wooten, a veteran guy that could hurt you, but you also got a rookie that's on the on deck circle with a couple of men out. So I'd be surprised if he didn't pitch Wooten very carefully too.
Breaking ball is low. Now something might be wrong with Wells because he was walking around the mound and all of a sudden Steve Donahue, the assistant trainer, comes out, followed by Joe Torre and now Mel Stottlemyre.
And you know, you'd almost have to go back to that play where Giambi threw the ball down low. He had to reach down, and if you were going to stretch your sciatic nerve or irritate it, that would have been the play that would have done that. And obviously the concern with Stottlemyre and Torre and Steve Donahue after his last outing, and that chronic sciatic nerve maybe flaring up a bit on him, but he says he's all right. But that's not going to be a trip to the mound because they went out to see if he had hurt himself. So that won't be charged to Torre.
Whenever Wells goes into that catcher's crouch, though, he's having a hard time loosening up. And as Bobby said, that play at first base, he's running full speed and has to reach down. This is a guy who had his back surgically repaired. You never know what's going to go. Ground ball is short. He's going to get out of the jam. Jeter across the diamond, and that'll do it here in the 6th inning. So Wells has pitched a very nice game. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the 7th inning. It's a dandy, 1-1. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Saturday, August 9th, the first 18,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Pokemon plush toy courtesy of Pokemon Center, New York. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Well, Joe Torre is a little bit concerned about his starting pitcher, and his starting pitcher, David Wells, has done a great job over the first 6. Got out of the bottom of the 6th inning without allowing a run, but walking off, he looked like he was limping a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like he's limping a little bit, maybe even dragging that left leg. He immediately went down into the tunnel area, so he could have hurt himself. Let's take another look at that play, that outstanding play by Giambi and David Wells, and to make quite a stretch right here. Made a nice play out of it. That could have been something that maybe stretched a little bit further than he wanted to, maybe in the hamstring or maybe the back.
Well, we go to the 7th inning, and there's a new pitcher for the Anaheim Angels. It is Francisco Rodriguez, as Mike Scioscia makes the singular call to the bullpen. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. So now the Yankees get a completely different look from Aaron Sele, because K-Rod is going to be able to bring it. He throws 94, 95, and it'll be the bottom third of the order against the young right-hander. Pitches outside.
And the bullpen for the Angels is the best part of this ball club this year. They come into this ball game with a 2.75 earned run average. You take a look at A-Rod's numbers for the year, making his 39th appearance. That 2.75 earned run average that they have out there with Weber, Rodriguez, Percival, Donnelly. That's #1 in the American League.
And that's in stark contrast to their starters, Bobby. 4.94, which is 10th in the American League. So although they're 2 games under 500, they'd probably be a lot worse off if their bullpen was not as effective as it is.
And Scioscia staying true with Aaron Sele, too. Aaron has never pitched over 6 innings this year, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that the surgery and the building that arm strength back up. Once again, the Yankees have a leadoff batter on.
Now it's interesting to see what the Yankees will do. We're in the 7th inning. Their bullpen is well rested because Roger Clemens pitched the complete game yesterday. Bobby, do you think about bunting right here with DeLucci?
Well, you got to take a look at who's coming up behind him with Enrique Wilson. Soriano's been struggling. I think Joe Torre will let DeLucci swing away.
Okay, DeLucci's 0 for 1 with a walk, and he scored the only Yankee run. And he is swinging away. The pitch is outside. The Angels thought he was bunting because Benji Gill was way in on the grass at third. There's a strike.
Rodriguez is not the easiest guy to bunt off of either, and you know, you kind of leave it up to Wilson, your 9th place hitter, or your 1st place hitter, Soriano, to drive that run in for you. Not that they can't do that, but
no one warming in the Yankee bullpen, so David Wells will pitch the 7th. He has a low pitch count, and that means that the back and the leg are okay. Yankees will hold their breath. The 1-1. Rodriguez having a hard time locating the plate to count 2-1.
I think he sets that way to continue to stretch that left leg out, which that's where that sciatic nerve is. Try to keep it stretched out as much as possible.
Runner goes, and that one is chopped toward first base. Quinlan makes the only play he could make, stepping on first, so it's not a sacrifice, but it does get Nick Johnson into scoring position, 1 away.
Yeah, another hit and run. And the batter protecting that runner, so they stayed out of the double play, but more importantly, they got that runner down to the go-ahead run at second base with 1 out.
Wilson's 0 for 2. He lined to second and grounded to short. Rodriguez simply not getting ahead of the batters tonight, at least the first 3. He walked Nick Johnson. And on a hit and run, DeLucci chopped it to first.
Part of that unsuspecting success that the Angels got in their World Championship year last year. Rodriguez, basically out of A baseball, came up here and dominated. Almost unhittable. Got a good fastball, and he's got a slider slash cutter that he utilizes for left-handers.
He is not happy with the strike zone of Matt Hollowell, and the crowd isn't either. Benji Gill is going to try to calm down Francisco Rodriguez. Now, speaking of the crowd, 43,871 tonight. Now, for the 3 games that the Yankees are in, 131,544. Significant? Yes, it is a record for a 3-game series here in Anaheim. There's a strike. Yankees continue to be the top draw in baseball on the road. Far and away.
Yeah, and the Yankees also lead the major leagues in attendance at home through 51 dates there. They've drawn over 2 million people there at Yankee Stadium.
And at 3-1. Foul back, 3-2. You know, the old adage in baseball is the last thing you want is a walk to lead off an inning. Well, the Yankees have had 4 leadoff walks in 7 innings, and only one of them have come around to haunt the Anaheim Angels. Let's see if Nick Johnson could be number 2. It's a 1-1 game, top of the 7th. The 3-2. Way inside, he skips rope to get out of the way, and Enrique Wilson, the number 9 batter in the lineup, walks, and Mike Scioscia quickly out to the mound to talk with K-Rod.
I don't think Scioscia wants to go out and try to calm him down, the young 21-year-old, and certainly not happy with the strike. So you can see Scioscia looking back at home plate umpire Matt Hollowell. He's walked 2 of the 3 batters that he's faced here in this inning. And something that Scioscia's saying to his youngster, said, look, no matter if you don't like the strike zone, you still got to bear down. I mean, this is something that you're going to have to learn to do in the first place. And what do you we're getting those strikes before. Don't worry about that. Concentrate on the hitter. Concentrate on his weaknesses.
Now, we told you that the starter, Aaron Sele, was throwing 87-88 with his fastball. Francisco Rodriguez is coming in, and he's throwing 96-97 with his fastball. So it's obviously an adjustment for the Yankees. One guy who loves the fastball is Soriano. Let's see how this matchup turns out. First and second with 1 out. Soriano 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 95. You would have to say that the Angels' unlikely championship last year, you could point right to K-Rod. He was a last-minute addition to the roster. He pitched just 5 innings in September, and he took them through the Division Series, the ALCS, and the World Series. He was a revelation. Swing and a miss. Boy, you never see Soriano bail out. He was bailing right there.
Yeah, that was a good breaking ball, and Soriano was spent. Check this swing out.
Backside one way, front side the other. So he's down in the count 0-2. Nice block by Molina.
He does it as good as anybody I've ever seen. Check this block. 2 men on. Uses that chest protector just as you're taught. Keep the ball in front of you.
Ben Weber is warming for the Angels in their bullpen as Rodriguez is struggling here in the top of the 7th. 1-1 game. First and second, 1 out. Runners go, and the pitch is swung and a miss. The throw to third is. He's out. Another strike him out, throw him out, double play. 3 yesterday, 5 in this series. And Benji Molina is just shutting down the Yankee running game, and Alfonso Soriano continues to struggle. Nick Johnson was out by plenty. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 1 man left. The end of 6.5. Get up and stretch. 1-1.
Come on in, Derek. I thought we discussed this thing and had it all worked out. You're our starting shortstop. How can you possibly afford to spend 2 nights dancing, 2 nights eating out, and 3 nights just carousing with your friends? Oh.
If you want to enjoy the New York nightlife, bring your Visa card, because Orso, Cheetah, and the Broome Street Bar don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I'm Fred Hickman, the studio update brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Well, the fellas told you about it. Now we're going to show it to you. Bottom of the 11th in Arlington. Red Sox and Rangers tied at 3, but A-Rod with one big swing. The grand slam as the Rangers go on to win it by a final count of 7-3. So A-Rod, the hot rod tonight in Arlington. We'll have more coming up on the post-game show. Rangers in town next week, by the way. Right now, let's get you back to the Ed with Michael and Bobby.
We thank you, Fred. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning here in Anaheim. Yankees and the Angels are tied at 1. Rob Quinlan leads off against David Wells, and the pitch is foul back. With that loss by the Red Sox, they're now 3 games behind the Yankees. If the Yankees win this game, it'll be 3.5. If they lose this game, it'll return to 2.5. And everybody else is dropping out of the picture. Toronto lost again today to Tampa Bay. They're 12.5 back. Baltimore and then Tampa Bay. Ground ball is short. Jeter backhand. Sets. 1 away.
After the All-Star break, Toronto Blue Jays, they came out of the gate smoking. And now they just started to back up on the American League East.
Along with Bobby Murcer, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on this Thursday night, Friday morning on the Yes Network. We thank you for staying up late with us. And you've seen good games so far. Yankees, Angels are tied at 1 as the Yankees are trying to sweep this 3-game set. They took the first 2 with great starting pitching, and they're getting more of the same here tonight from David Wells. Pitch to Benji Molina is a strike. Well, no matter what Molina does at the plate, he's 1 for 2 tonight. He controls and changes a game behind the plate.
He certainly does. And like you said, 5 strike him out, throw him out. So this 3-game series so far. 3 on the first day, 1 last night, and 1 tonight. Well, did you ever think you would hear this story starting to float around that Alex Rodriguez is unhappy in Texas and would consider a trade?
That one's hit deep to center field, giving chase Bernie Williams. He's on the run. It's over his head, and 1 hop up against the wall. Molina chugs into second with a double. So Molina's 2 for 3, and only a nice play by Hideki Matsui has kept him from going 3 for 3.
Bernie plays a shallow center field, but I don't think anybody could have run this one down. Solidly hit into center field, and Bernie gave it a good try. And Molina not blessed with any speed, so that'll be a double, a 1-out double.
Benji Gill swings and fouls it back. This series, the Angels 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Tonight, they are 0 for 7. The double by Molina, the 5th hit by the Angels tonight. I don't know if a single could score Molina. Molina might be the slowest player in the American League. He just cannot run. He kind of ambles. Now with the Yankees, the outfield arms not very good. In left field, Matsui gets rid of the ball quickly, but does not have a good arm. Bernie's below average in center. And Dave DeLucci has a pretty decent arm in right field.
Depends on how you charge the ball in the outfield, too. I mean, if you get on the ball quickly, if you get rid of it quickly, you always have a chance to make the play or throw somebody out, even if you have an average or just a little bit above average arm.
And in the case of Molina, you could actually use a cutoff man and still get the runner at home plate. But the Angels are well aware of that. Ron Renicky, their third base coach, is probably not waving home Molina on any sharp single of the outfield. The Thundersticks have been quiet in this series. Not much to cheer about.
Thank heavens.
The 2-1. Missed inside, and the count 3-1. First base is open. Adam Kennedy's on deck. Mel Stoudemire goes to the phone. And the 3-1 count on Benji Gill is the first 3-ball count that Wells has had all night. You saw Armando Benitez take his warm-up jacket off. He'll begin to throw. And the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball, nubs slowly towards short. Jeter's there and gets the runner at first for the second out as Molina stays put at second.
took a little bit off of that 3-1 pitch, figuring that Benji Gill was looking for something fast and hard, and he was. That's where he got him out in front. You don't expect those guys that haven't been playing every day, you know, been kind of bench players that take 2 or 3 days off. Their timing couldn't be that sharp. But you can see Benitez now and Chris Hammond beginning to warm up for the Yankees.
Here's Adam Kennedy. Fouled away, and after Bobby just told you Benitez and Hammond, they told Hammond to take a seat, and Benitez now throwing alone. Let's see if Hammond has gotten up again. If we could pull out, I'll play director for a moment. No, now they get up Jesse Orozco. So they tell Hammond to sit down with the 2 outs, and they have Orozco up just in case you get to Erstad and you want to match up lefty-lefty. The 0-1. Fly ball to left field. Giving chase is Matsui. Also Wilson. Wilson can't make the play. And Wells knows he has to throw another pitch or 2. Wilson gave it a long, long run, just couldn't get there. And with the left-handed batter up, Matsui was not shaded toward the line.
Matsui, no chance for him. Wilson had a little bit of a chance. He just couldn't get there. He's running out of room. So Adam Kennedy now down, no balls for 2 strikes. And Kennedy has really struggled against left-handed pitching this year. He struggled enough. And Mike Scioscia has set him down a couple of times against certain lefties. Something that he didn't like, and he voiced his displeasure to Scioscia in a closed-door meeting.
Runner on second, 2 outs, 1-1 game, bottom of the 7th. The 0-2. Hit him. Oh, that's the last thing Wells wanted to do when you've got a batter who doesn't hit lefties well down 0-2. The crowd is booing, but you know what? David Wells is booing himself.
And I think if you take a look at this pitch, Michael, this is not going to be too far off the plate inside. I think that Adam Kennedy was trying to protect the outside corner so much that he was looking for something outside, and he just kind of dove into it. Posada was sitting inside. He moved his glove a little bit further inside, but I'll tell you what, that really wasn't that far off the plate. It was a little bit high.
So now Wells has to deal with Eric Owens. 0 for 2 against Wells tonight. And the fastball is inside. Wells has thrown down 90 pitches, 65 strikes, 25 out of the zone. Mel has all that information in his right hand on the clicker. There's a strike.
Well, they got 1-1. Excuse me, Michael. They got a complete game shutout out of a 40-year-old last night. First time that Roger Clemens had pitched a complete game shutout in 3 years. That's just how difficult it is, especially in the American League with the emergence of the bullpen all the time.
1-1 to Owens. Strike right down the middle. Laid a fastball there. Owens looking for something else to count 1-2. You know, if Owens has a lot of confidence against Wells, remember, he tried to bunt last time up and popped up to Wilson. That was the second try in the at-bat. David Eckstein's on deck. Molina's at second. Kennedy is at first. 2 men out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1-1. Ground ball is short. This should do it. Jeter flips to Soriano. They go the short way to get the force for the final out of the inning. And again, Wells works out of trouble. No runs a hit. No errors. 2 men left. We go to the 8th inning. It's a dandy. Yankees won and the Angels won.
It's Yankees baseball on Yes tonight. It's a showdown at sunset in the Wild Wild West as the Yankees duel Oakland and their young guns. Join Fred Hickman for complete pregame coverage tonight beginning at 9:30 only on Yes.
We go to the 8th inning. Let's take a look at the Visa in-game box score for the New York Yankees. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. Not that many hits up and down that lineup. The Yankees have just 3. 1 by Soriano, 1 by Jeter, and 1 by Bernie Williams. Some walks. Jeter drove in the only run. David DeLucci, who walked, scored the only run. And that's about it. So it's a pretty empty and unexciting Yankee in-game box score. But we go to the 8th inning as the Yankees try to break through against Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod. And Jeter will lead off. Jeter's 1 for 2 with a walk. And the pitch. Breaking ball with no bite upstairs, and the count 1-0.
Yeah, it looked like a breaking ball that was a backup breaking ball. It didn't have that sharp break down and away.
Funny thing, that first breaking ball, they actually have a radar gun up on the scoreboard in right field, and it says it right now, speed 800 miles an hour. I mean, we know Rodriguez is fast, but he's not throwing 800 miles an hour. Fouled away. That one was 95 miles an hour. That's legitimate.
Last year, most of the hitters were swinging at all those breaking balls that he was throwing up there. There you see what Mike was talking about. I don't know if I believe that or not, but we'll go with it.
Art Gunn said 95 too.
But a lot of the hitters have adjusted that breaking ball. Now they won't swing it. They're not offering at it.
That one 96 miles an hour. How difficult as a hitter is it to face Aaron Sele your first couple of times up? Do you have to start it a little earlier? Is it more difficult because the guy who didn't throw hard preceded a guy who throws hard?
I just think you just gear it up a notch or two. I mean, once you see one pitch, I mean, you've already cataloged that in your mind. I mean, that's you know, it's just the way it happens, and you just turn it up about a notch, maybe half a notch. You already know who Rodriguez is. You've faced him before, so you know you're going to have to face some hard stuff. I mean, he's got the hard breaking ball. He's got the good fastball, basically a 2-pitch pitcher. But that pitch right there, the breaking ball is what the hitters have adjusted to on this young man. Is the fact that they don't swing at that breaking ball that much. Because last year he was throwing it, but he was throwing it out of the strike zone, and they were chasing it. Now they're laying off of it.
Jeter trying to work his way on. And the breaking ball is low, and he does work his way on with a walk. Rodriguez wanted that strike call. Last inning, it unnerved him. Let's see if it does here in the 8th. Mike Scioscia didn't like the call by Hollowell.
Well, it appeared the way Molina caught the ball that the ball was low. I got to say that ball got to be low.
The side view has it crossing over his knees, but he did catch it low. Here's Giambi. Let's see if Jeter runs.
When you take a look at the strike zone, I mean, you got to look at the front part of the plate and where the ball crosses on the front part of the plate.
Well, that's the 5th leadoff walk the Yankees have had tonight. They've only capitalized once. Popped up foul. Third base side, and that is out of play. Boy, was that a long run for Benji Gill, the third baseman, because the Angels have the shift on, so Gill's all the way close to second base. He's going to be out of breath.
You can hit them down the left field line foul all you want. They'll never catch up with the way they play Giambi.
Giambi tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. Jeter leads off first. Quinlan holds him on. Not a good combination to run. Rodriguez, for a hard thrower, is not exceptionally slow to the plate, and then you have Molina behind the plate, so you run with trepidation, to say the least.
Well, Jeter hadn't been running that much anyway since he dislocated that shoulder, but in my opinion, I think Joe Torre would be thinking the same way, that Giambi has been hot. Let him take a chance of putting you on the board with one swing.
Jeter certainly not extending his lead at first. And he serves it the other way for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting there by Jason Giambi. Jeter stops at second. Garrett Anderson gets the ball into Eckstein. So the Yankees have runners on first and second and nobody out here in the 8th, and Bernie Williams coming up.
Well, you don't see this happen very often. That's the reason they put the shift on Jason Giambi, a little inside-out swing, and he picks up a base hit to left field.
Well, Mike Scioscia's seen enough. He is going to go to Brendan Donnelly, and Brendan Donnelly has had an unbelievable year. In fact, he actually won the All-Star game for the American League. So he made the American League All-Star team as a setup man, and he's one of the more valuable pitchers in baseball. We detail what he has done so far when he gets back. Big moment in the game. Stay right here on Yes. Hey, Yankee fans, Yankees.com shop has the best selection of Yankees gear, including caps, pullovers, and lots more. All you have to do is visit Yankees.com and shop online today at the official site of the New York Yankees. Mike Scioscia is not pleased with home plate umpire Matt Hollowell and has had a running dialogue with Hollowell. He felt that Hollowell had squeezed Francisco Rodriguez, and Rodriguez walked Jeter to start off on a very close 3-2 pitch and then served up a single to Giambi. So he had to go to his best, at least his best setup man. That's Brendan Donnelly, and Donnelly's had some year. Look at those numbers, Bobby.
Take a look at the numbers. 45th game that he is in. Check that earned run average out, .70. He has struck out 59 and 51 2/3. A guy that made his major league debut as a rookie, as a 30-year-old. He had pitched in the minor leagues for 10 years. And he came up probably the biggest. We talked about Francisco Rodriguez and all the publicity he got. But this guy here last year was the one that pitched the best for the Angels out of the bullpen. And a big part of the reason that bullpen has that league-leading ERA, 2.75.
Here's Bernie Williams. Pitches outside now. Brendan Donnelly is an unbelievable success story. Bobby just told you the age of 30, he's a rookie. And we told you earlier in the game how there's always a team that thinks that they could do something with a player that the other teams couldn't. 7 teams released Brendan Donnelly. 7. So 7 teams said there's nothing that this guy can do. And the Angels picked him up, and they found something to tap into. Bernie Williams broke his bat on a ball.
Either that or the bat was broken when he took it up there. Could have been broken from the last time up when he flied out to center field. A lot of times, you know, you keep eyeing your bat. You look up around where the label is, where the handle, and sometimes you see a little bit of a crack that you didn't notice the time before.
He's got a new piece of lumber now. Yankees runners on first and second, nobody out. We're in the top of the 8th inning. 1-1 game. Yankees looking for a 3-game sweep of the Angels. Angels trying to salvage the final game. Swing and a miss. Donnelly released by the White Sox, released by the Cubs, let go by the Reds, let go by the Reds again. Released by the Devil Rays, released by the Pirates, released by the Blue Jays, released by the Cubs again. There's a strike.
Hit for 14 minor league teams. And now he's got Bernie down to count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You see Molina move outside, and he put the target there, and Donnelly hit it.
The winning pitcher of the All-Star game at U.S. Cellular in Chicago earlier this month. 1-2. He struck him out. 1 away.
Bernie way out in front of that split-fingered fastball. One ball and 2 strikes, and more or less the changeup, it looked like. No, that's a splitter. You could see it in his hand. It was just kind of rolling over, but it had the down action and the off speed to it. Bernie way out in front.
So here's Matsui, one of 2 Yankees who hit over 300 with runners in scoring position. Matsui and Jeter. Fastball upstairs. Matsui has walked twice today, then flied out to center in the 6th inning. Leads American League rookies with 77 runs batted in. Way outside, 2-0. Posada is on deck. Grounded foul. He jumped on a 2-0 pitch just a little too quick.
Yeah, and I think the 2-0 pitch may have been a little bit high and inside. But a lot of times that hitter knows that he's going to get the fastball. Normally he's going to get the fastball in that 2-0 count. That actually broke his bat. It got in on his hands. And you get so geared up that if it's even close to the strike zone, you're swinging at it.
In this series, with runners in scoring position, Matsui is 2 for 2 and a sac fly, driving in 4 runs.
Yeah, between Giambi and Matsui last night, they drove in 6 between them.
And the 2-1. 3-1.
Look at Molina's glove, and he moved it out just a little bit, but Hollowell has not been giving that pitch all night long. So
popped him up, foul behind the plate, out of play. 3-2 count. Now, we've seen it happen 5 times in this series. Do you want to risk a strike him out, throw him out, double play by sending the runners? Now, Jeter's quick at second, but Giambi is not fast at first, and Molina is deadly behind the plate. You want to send the runners, though, to stay out of the double play. This is a tough call.
I say they go, and I know Joe Torre has a lot of confidence in Matsui to put the ball in play. This is the biggest pitch coming up in the game so far, especially for Donnelly, with a 3-2 count and 1 out. We'll see what kind of pitch he comes up with to try to get Matsui.
They go. The 3-2 is sky to right center field. It's in the park. Eric Owens is there. Jeter gets back the tag. He does. He'll go to third. The throw will come into second. So a long fly ball by Matsui for the second out of the inning, and the Yankees have runners on first and third and 2 outs.
Matsui just a little bit behind on that 3-2 pitch. See him shaking his head. One of those just missed.
Molina going through signs because you don't know if the Yankees send Giambi. Just have Molina throw through, and maybe Jeter tries to steal home. So those are all the things that they're going through to try to guard against. They are not going to hold Giambi. They will play right behind him at first. Rob Quinlan will do that, guarding against the line with the lefty swinging Posada. 1-1 game, top of the 8th. Cool fastball by him, 93 miles an hour. That's his fastest pitch so far in this appearance. He'd been consistently at 90-91, but he jacked it up for that one. So the count 0-1. 1-5-0 Angels, 1-4-0 Yankees, top of the 8th.
You know, an 89 or a 90 mile an hour fastball, if it's got some movement to it, it's more effective than a 98 or a 99 fastball that's straight.
The 0-1. 1-1. Nick Johnson is on deck for the Yankees. In this series, Yankees 9 for 26 with runners in scoring position, which is excellent. And against the Red Sox, a series the Yankees lost 2 games to 1. They were 6 for 35. Jeter's in scoring position. Giambi is not. First and third, 2 outs. Little cat and mouse game going on. Posada steps out. Donnelly stepping off the rubber. Missed outside, 2-1. Johnson waiting on deck. The 2-1. Grounded sharply to first. This should do it. Rob Quinlan's there, steps on the bag, and Donnelly works out of a first and second, nobody out jam, and the Yankees do not score. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 1-1. Yankee baseball here on Yes. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees and the Angels are tied at 1 in front of a sellout crowd. 3rd straight night at Edison Field here in Anaheim. Top of the order against David Wells. David Eckstein leads off. And the pitch is a strike. Eckstein supposed to be just a great guy. His father used to idolize Mickey Mantle. Says, my son is now my idol. He said, I've never met a better human being in my life. Line drive, just over the leaping try of Derek Jeter. A leadoff single for David Eckstein. Jeter got up there and almost came down with it, but missed it by inches.
Eckstein has lived through a lot of perseverance in his life. He has been told almost everywhere he has gone, he said, you're just too short, you can't play, you're not going to be able to compete, and here he is. He's got a world championship ring, and he's got this leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And that's a big single for David Eckstein. Why? Because Joe Torre is going to take David Wells with him. Wells has thrown 95 pitches. He's done a great job over 7. But with Jesse Orosco warming up and Darren Erstad coming up, that'll do it for Wells. So Wells cannot win this game. If that run at first base comes around to score, he can lose it. So the Yankees relieve a 40-year-old and they bring in a 46-year-old Jesse Orosco. Wells' night is done. Orosco's is starting. Orosco against Erstad when we get back right here on Yes.
One of the beautiful things about women is they don't sweat or smell like a guy. Our body chemistry is just different.
Introducing Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made for a man's body chemistry.
Ultramax stops odor at the source. So strong, tests show it offers superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
It's all the muscle a man needs.
New Arm & Hammer Ultramax Gel.
Well, as you can see in your upper right-hand corner, they have unleashed the rally monkey here in Anaheim, and that was a staple of last year's championship run. The Yankees have been so dominant over the first 2 games. The rally monkey never got out of his cage. He's out of there now. In the bottom of the 8th inning, it's a 1-1 game. The Yankees have taken David Wells out and brought on Jesse Orosco. And Orosco will face Darren Erstad and also face the wrath of the rally monkey.
Well, at least in the first 2 games, they had quietened down those thunder sticks, and the rally monkey wasn't even in sight. And he's come out tonight. They've been waiting to wave the rally monkeys for 2 days, haven't they?
An amazing phenomenon here in Anaheim. You see Orosco acquired from the San Diego Padres last week. Those are his numbers with the Padres and the Yankees. So now this is his job, to get out Erstad and Anderson. 2 left-handed batters. Erstad was 1 for 3 against David Wells. Eckstein leads off first, held there by Giambi. Orosco keeps him close.
Yeah, he was throwing back to first base to see what Erstad may or may not do, and Erstad was squaring around to bunt. So it appeared, at least on that pitch there, that Erstad was going to sacrifice the runner down there. Now, if that's the case, then the Yankees will have their choice of what they want to do with their hottest hitter, Garrett Anderson.
Snap throw to first as Eckstein gets back. A phenomenal career for Jesse Orosco. 46 years old. 1 year he was not able to pitch because of a bad arm. And at the age of 46, he still throws 88 miles an hour. When he was young and with the Mets, he threw 91, so he hasn't really lost that much velocity. And the key is his slingshot motion. He gets over the breaking ball. Erstad does square to bunt and bunts it up in the air foul, landing untouched.
From the left side, Orozco is hard to pick up, and as you mentioned, that slingshot delivery that he has. By the time you actually pick it up, he hides it so well, the ball is on top of it. So you don't really get a good look at it from the left side. And such as he did there, you know, he dropped down on Erstad too.
It's a 1-1 game. Bottom of the 8th inning. Both starters now out, David Wells and Aaron Sele. It's in the hands of the bullpen.
Eckstein leads the Angels with 14 stolen bases. And as we've seen in the first 2 games in this 3-game series, the Angels will run anytime.
Squares the bunt again, this time a good bunt toward first. Giambi tags out Erstad, so the sacrifice successful as Eckstein moves to second. And now, as Bobby mentioned, a decision for the Yankees. You've got Orozco in there to get out left-handers, but the left-hander Anderson is not that neutralized against left-handed pitching. First base is open. Do you walk him?
I think you're probably going to put him on. You got Sean Wood, the designated hitter, the guy that you set up the double play for one thing. We'll see what Joe does, but you also got the rookie hitting behind Sean Wooten.
And they will intentionally walk Anderson. I think that's the move to make.
Oh, I think so too. And Benitez has been warming up, so he is warmed up. But on the other side, Mike Scioscia also has a Spezio that he can send up there.
And Devannon as well.
And Devannon.
So Wooten can take all the practice swings he wants. If the Yankees go to Benitez, it will not be Wooten against Benitez.
But I mean, even if you look at the matchup is not Orozco against Garrett Anderson in this situation here. I mean, if you got a chance to put him on, I mean, that sets up the double play. This is the hottest hitter, the guy we talked about earlier in the game that you don't want to beat you. The matchup would be to go with a lesser matchup with Benitez against either somebody off the bench or maybe a rookie.
And it does make you wonder why Scioscia had Erstad bunt, because he had to know.
Take the bat out of Henderson's hand.
That's right. You lose your best hitter with a chance to win the game. Well, the Yankees are going to go to Benitez. Jesse Orozco does his job, and immediately when the signal was made to the bullpen, Mike Scioscia called on Jeff Devannon, a switch hitter that will bat from the left side. So the wheels are turning in a really good game. Benitez against Devannon when we get back.
On the Yes Network center stage, racing legend Richard Petty talks about crashing into retirement.
People going out in the blaze of glory. I just went out in the blaze. No glory.
Center stage, Richard Petty premieres Wednesday at 10:30.
Only on Yes.
There's a place in Cooperstown, New York, where memories come to life.
Would you believe that? Well, this guy's in another world.
Where moments become memories, the Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown.
Hey, Yes Network fans, now sport a new look with Yes gear from the home of champions. Shop online now at YesNetwork.com and gear up with t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, bags, ladies apparel, and more. So log on now to YesNetwork.com and get your Yes gear here.
When the game gets into the bullpen, the game also gets into the hands of the manager. So let's see who made the right call. The Yankees go to Armando Benitez. You see his numbers there with the Mets and the Yankees combined. And Mike Scioscia goes to Jeff Devannon, a switch hitter who will obviously bat from the left side. So matching wits, Torrey and Scioscia. Torrey with 4 World Series rings, Socha with 1. Angels have runners on first and second. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, 1 out. Devannon against Benitez.
Well, I think it's got to be a no-brainer. I mean, you take a young kid, Jeff Devannon. He's had 1 swing, 1 time at bat against Armando Benitez, a guy that was closing for the New York Mets and has been in these situations his whole life.
And the pitch is a strike. 96 miles an hour right out of the box for Benitez. Benitez has had 3 full days off. Monday was an off day for the Yankees. Tuesday and Wednesday, he did not see action with Pettit and Clemens pitching so well. Devannon's a good pinch hitter in his career, 7 for 20. That's .350. A home run and 7 strikeouts. The 0-1. A splitter blocked by Posada in the count 1-1.
Yeah, nice play by Jorge Posada to block that ball, keep it in front of him.
For 18 with runners in scoring position in this series. Hitless tonight in 9 chances. Eckstein's at second. Anderson's at first. Eckstein has good speed. .96 out of the zone, 2-1. They got Benitez for this purpose. Pitch in big situations in the 7th and 8th innings. Rob Quinlan is on deck.
Benitez is pitching in his 7th game already for the Yankees.
The 2-1. 2-2, waved at a fastball. Eckstein leads off second. Anderson off first with 1 out. A fake toward second, chasing Eckstein back. Two. 98 miles an hour, but way upstairs. And the count now full at 3-2. Does Socha send the runners?
Up high, I think my Socha definitely will be sending the runners.
Try to stay out of a double play. Remember, though, Benitez a strikeout pitcher. And a clear throw to third base to get Eckstein. They don't go, and the 3-2 just misses outside, and Benitez stares into Hollowell. Wanted that one, and the bases are loaded.
Pretty good eye by Devannon. Yeah, that pitch right there was just about where Jorge Posada was setting up. You can see he's going outside just a little bit. And it appears that he didn't even move his glove, but for both sides, Hollowell has not been giving that pitch all night long. You know, Mike Socha and the stares that he has had for the home plate umpire. Well, that was a big pitch.
You know, it's important, though, Bobby. Benitez has a history of losing his cool if a call goes against him, and you can see he's trying to gather himself right now because he thought that was strike 3. So Mike Socha again goes to the bench. He sends up Scott Spezio to pinch hit for Rob Quinlan. Another switch hitter who will go at it from the left side. Bases loaded with Angels. Troy Percival, their closer, is ready. The Angels get a run. He comes in to pitch the 9th inning. Jumped on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and fouled it back. Spezio does a nice job in these situations. 24 for 77 with 4 grand slams. Another 97-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-2. Well, that's tough to come off the bench and face that cheese.
Especially when it's up and in the zone.
We saw Benji Molina on deck. The go-ahead run is at third, and David Eckstein. The bases are loaded with Angels. 1 man out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 0-2. Breaking ball with no bite upstairs, still 90 miles an hour, and the count 1-2.
It's almost like if you give Benitez the target sort of inside, that the ball will move back over the plate. You know, when you start the target outside, his ball continues to move out there. And it seems like when he starts to miss, that's where he misses. In other words, if you're going to give a target, you can give it in here and let the ball move back in on the inside part of the plate. You give the target here, it's still going to be moving out away from the strike zone. You could almost hand the target right in the middle of the plate, and he's trying to throw it there. With the move of the baseball, it's going to be moving away.
1-2. What Bobby's talking about right there, the count 2-2. You also have to watch out if you set up on the inside corner, then it moves back over the middle of the plate.
Some of these pitchers have so much movement on their pitches that you actually can give the target right down the middle, you know, and the natural movement will move it out of the middle of the plate.
The 2-2. Grounded foul. Sent Mel Stoudemire scurrying.
Joe didn't move. Mel took off. And Zimmer stayed. He held his ground too.
Boy, Mel got down those steps in a hurry. Mickey Hatcher, the batting coach for the Angels, loving it. The 2-2. He struck him out on a splitter. 2 away. Big pitch by Benitez.
Well, what a splitter that was too, after all that 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball. Then he comes with the splitter. Let's take a look at how he went after Spezio. That's a fastball foul back. 96 miles an hour on that one. Outside. Another one outside. That'll leave the count up at 2-2. And the foul ball. All hard stuff until that one there. Dove right out of the strike zone.
Now he has to deal with the dangerous Benji Molina. Bases still loaded, now 2 outs. Lost that one to shallow right. Going back is Soriano. He makes the play. And Benitez works out of a very, very messy jam. For the Angels, no runs, a hit, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. Get ready. We're going to the 9th inning, and we're tied at 1.
This season, my teammates and I are going to work as hard as we can with hopes that our fans will log on to Yankees.com and vote for one of us as the Continental Airlines Work Hard, Fly Right Player of the Year. We're dedicated to putting in those extra hours on the field, in the clubhouse, and everywhere else.
Programs here.
So log on to Yankees.com and be eligible to win a trip to a Yankees away game. Continental Airlines, Work Hard, Fly Right.
Come on home. Come on.
Big plays, big games. Let's go win big dreams. The New York State Little League Finals are on Yes as Ramapo takes on Vestal in the championship game. Tonight at 7, only on Yes. As big as it gets.
And now it comes down to the 9th inning. The game is tied at 1. Benitez did a nice job getting out of a bases-loaded jam. Donnelly still in there. Will face the bottom of the order, and the first pitch to Nick Johnson is outside. One thing about Hollowell, he has been consistent. He is not giving that pitch off the plate. To left-handed batters, anything outside, he's just not even giving a ball length outside. And both sides have had trouble with it. Batters must love it. Grounded foul.
Well, the one thing you want to know if the umpire is going to be consistent or not. You know, you can be consistent with bad pitches. You can be consistent with good pitches. You just don't want him to call it a strike one time and a ball the next time.
I've actually heard guys say, Bobby, I don't mind if he's consistently bad as long as he's consistent.
As long as he stays that way.
Right. He said, I just don't want him to change it in the 8th inning. Two-1. 3-1. A lot of 3-ball counts for the Angels tonight.
Well, the Yankees have had 5 leadoff walks and have only scored one of those. Both ball clubs have had chances. They just have been unable to produce in the situations that they needed to.
Outside, so Donnelly, who usually has unerring control, walks the leadoff batter here in the 9th.
That's number 6.
Let's see if the Yankees bunt with DeLucci. Last time in the 7th inning, same situation. They did not. They hit and ran with him. So Willie Randolph will go through the signs. DeLucci has scored the Yankees' only run tonight with his walk in the 3rd inning. After that, he flied to right and grounded to first. He does run the hands up the bunt, but takes a pitch outside, 1-0. Mariano Rivera begins to warm, just in case the Yankees score a run. Ruben Sierra grabs a bat. He'll pinch hit for Enrique Wilson.
Garcia is also over there.
Runner was going, hit and run was on, and DeLucci fouled it back.
Every pitch is a new pitch when you're either trying to sacrifice or get that runner down to second base. After every time the pitcher throws a pitch, you got to look back down to your third base coach to see what he's doing. He's either taking it off, keeping it on, or such as they did right there, they hit and run. Benji Gill playing in on the grass at third, so he'll continue to have to protect.
Call a strike on that one. DeLucci couldn't believe it. He had squared the bunt. Now the bunt is off. Joe doesn't like that call. Says it's high.
That's probably a little bit of National League creeping in there. The National League has been known more to be a low ball, and you can see DeLucci let it go because he thought it was too high.
So now all bets are off. They could still send the runner, but they probably will not bunt with 2 outs.
No.
And those that are new to the game, and you get new fans all the time, you don't bunt with 2 strikes, because if you bunt foul, it's a strikeout. And people are not that good enough bunters that you want to risk striking out on a bunt foul.
Doesn't mean that they won't do it, though. I mean, we've seen it done many a times. Donnelly still continues to try to work that outside corner to see if he can't get a hitter to bite at it.
Another decision for the Yankees. Full count. Nick Johnson's at first. Nobody out. In all likelihood, they send him. But you do risk that strike him out, throw him out, double play. Johnson goes. Pitch is swung on, base hit to right field. Johnson will round second. He'll go to third. Owens gets the ball in quickly. And a rocket single by David DeLucci, and the Yankees are set up in the top of the ninth inning. First and third and nobody out.
Nice at bat for Dave DeLucci. He was asked to try to sacrifice. He also was asked to hit and run. He worked the count to 3-2 and delivered with a sharp single into right field. Nick Johnson didn't look back either. He was on his way to third. He never stopped.
Tore his pants on that slide.
Pretty good debut by Dave DeLucci. He'd been a fine catch in right field earlier in the game, and then delivering that base hit there.
Now the Yankees ask Ruben Sierra to deliver, and he will pinch hit for Enrique Wilson. Angels have to bring the infield in because they can't play back for the double play. You don't give the go-ahead run up in the ninth inning. So that makes Sierra a better hitter. Any hard ground ball that's not directly at an infielder is through.
Talking about plugging holes, the Yankees early in the year didn't have this combination for Joe Torre. I mean, to be able to send a switch hitter up like Ruben Sierra in a tight game, you know, gives you all the advantage in the world.
And the 0-1. 0-2. Slumping Soriano is on deck. Tip. Molina could not hold on, so Sierra barely holds on.
Split-fingered fastball. The split finger looks more like a screwball. You don't see he throws it. It kind of falls off towards the first base side and then throws it towards the outside part of the plate and has a spinning motion that goes away from the left-handed hitter.
And the 0-2. He struck him out. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That's what they needed. Now a double play ends the inning.
Well, this is just pure heat right here, and it's inside a little bit. Midgie Molina darn near lost it. He keeps looking in his glove like he didn't know whether he had it or not.
So Bud Black wants to go over how to pitch to Soriano now. Soriano has good speed. It's going to be tough to double him up. He's 1 for 4 today. And quite truthfully, he does not have a stroke. He seems out of sync at the plate. Possibility, he's not a good bunter, but that is in the repertoire. That's an option for the Yankees, especially for a guy who struggled so much.
Well, if he's not a good bunter, he should be. I mean, you know, being in the leadoff spot and being the type of player that Soriano came to the Yankees as, he should be able to bunt the ball. I'm not saying that they're going to put the hit and run on, but you said not a good bunter, but he should be. And that sure can, if you are a good bunter, that sure can keep you out of these prolonged slumps too.
Infield backs up now, more at double play depth.
Well, they're at halfway is what they are. They're going to complete the double play if it's hit hard enough. If it's not hit hard enough, they're going to try to cut that run off at home.
Any ground ball, Nick Johnson's going to come home. inside. Soriano was asked to bunt a couple of times and won at bat on Friday against the Red Sox and did not do a good job of it and looked like he wasn't into it. The next day, Luis Sojo addressed him and said, hey, that's your job. You have to do it, and you have to do it with more enthusiasm than you did.
Your two middle infielders, you can see they're playing about halfway from the double play depth.
2-0. Jeter's on deck. Mariano Rivera is warm in the bullpen. He's waiting for Nick Johnson to cross the plate. Then he knows he's coming in. If the Yankees don't score, they probably keep Benitez in there for a second inning. The 2-0 popped up. That will not get a run in. Kennedy makes the play. Donnelly 1 out away from working out of a very tough jam.
Soriano with the count in his favor. We'll see how Donnelly went after him. Fastball running inside for a ball. That's ball 2. That's 2-0. And then he just came back with a fastball. And Soriano late swinging. I mean, he got the pitch that he would want to drive. And it got in on his hands.
Well, that leaves it up to Jeter against Donnelly. Now, Jeter has driven in the only Yankee run. That was in the 3rd inning. A single through the right side against starter Aaron Sele. So the Yankees had runners on 1st and 3rd and nobody out here in the 9th inning. A chance to break the 1-1 tie. And pinch hitter Ruben Sierra struck out. And Soriano popped to second base. So now the infield backs up to normal depth. And that gives a bit of an edge to the Angels. And it's up to Jeter. Runner was going. And the ball is fouled back. This is the last day for Jeter in what has been a stupendous July. Now, it's according to how you look at it, Bobby, it's July here in Anaheim, but back in New York, it's August right now.
August the 1st. He's getting a little extension of his hot month.
He's been well over 400 all month. Nick Johnson's at 3rd. And David DeLucci is at 1st. 2 men out, top of the 9th. Game tied at 1. Ground ball right side, grabbed there by Kennedy. He flips to Spezio, and a great job by Brendan Donnelly as the Yankees just could not get a big hit. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 1-1.
When I was growing up, my parents and I would go to the schoolyard and play ball every weekend. They'd teach me how if I practiced and didn't give up, my swing would get better. But if I got in front of the ball and wasn't afraid, I could stop it. That there weren't any shortcuts to becoming a better player. But if I believed in myself, I could do it. Funny, all that time, I thought they were teaching me how to play baseball.
Go to the bottom of the 9th inning, game tied at 1. Let's take a look now at the play of the game, brought to you by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Well, it's going to be David Wells, and besides that superb 7+ innings that he pitched for the Yankees tonight, he made this play here. One heck of a play by Jason Giambi and David Wells. So that's our Continental play of the game.
And that started up the 6th inning. Now starting up the bottom of the 9th inning, Benji Gill against Armando Benitez. Swing and a miss. Gill has driven in the only run as you see Todd Zeile takes over 3rd for Enrique Wilson. Sierra pinch hit for Wilson in the top of the inning. Gill with a ground ball to shortstop in the 2nd, drove in the only run. Count 0-2. Swung on and miss. That looked like a slider from Benitez, 1 away.
bit of a break to it. Down and away to Benji Gill.
Here's Adam Kennedy, the MVP of the ALCS last year. Tonight 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch by Wells in the 7th. There's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Count goes even at 1-1. Line drive, base hit to center field. He returned that one to center as fast as it came in. 1 out single for Kennedy.
Kennedy may be struggling against left-handed pitching, but right-handed pitching, he is still smoking that ball. Like a fastball, well, 94 miles an hour, sitting right back up the middle, about 104 miles an hour.
Here's Eric Owens.
Now, Kennedy has speed, too. He also has 14 stolen bases like Eckstein, so you got to watch him.
Well, he had a big lead there and almost picked off. Looks like he's intent on going. Yankees think so. They pitch out, nothing doing.
They are not afraid to run. Socha has them on the run, and we saw in the first 2 games that they were double stealing. They were stealing with being down 3 or 4 runs to the Yankees. So they like to run no matter what the count is or what the score is.
And Benitez, like most hard-throwing relievers, slow to the plate. Good throw, they would have had him.
Yeah.
Kennedy was leaning.
And he was going. He wasn't leaning, he was going. If the ball is on the inside instead of the outside, they're going to pick him off. He's going to go. It's just a matter of what pitch.
Two and 0.
That runner could sure take a lot of concentration away from that pitcher. He's got to worry about you over there.
Kennedy 74% stolen base, 14 steals, 5 caught. There he goes, and that one is punched to right field. They could double him up. The catch made by DeLucci. They will double him up. He flips to Giambi, who steps on the bag, and that's a 9-3 inning-ending double play. Kennedy took off and never looked up, ever. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Bonus Cantos, free baseball. We go to the 10th.
As far as their bullpen is concerned, a lot of them are just as effective against left, even though the right-handers are effective against left-handed batters with the split fingers and those sinkers that they throw to left-handed.
Chris Matsui's upstairs.
Excuse me. That's the reason Scott Schoenweiss, who was just traded a couple of days ago or a day ago, that they didn't use him that much because he was the left-hander in the bullpen, but the right-hander's successful at getting left-handers out too.
Count 1-1. The Yankees won the first night of this series 6-2 behind Andy Pettitte. Last night 8-0, a complete game shutout by Roger Clemens, his first complete game in over 3 years. David Wells pitched beautifully tonight, nothing to show for it except for a lower ERA. 2-1. He looks mean on the mound.
Yeah, he's got that look. He's got that closer's look.
Guy throws 96 and squints. It doesn't make you feel good. Popped up left field. Giving chase is Gill. He'll run out of room.
Wouldn't be the fastballs that I'd be so much worried about. It'd be that split-fingered fastball that he throws almost 90 miles an hour.
Bobby, in your career, honestly, was there ever a pitcher that you were actually physically afraid of, that you thought he might hurt you?
No.
Nope.
Not that anything comes to mind. If it didn't come to my mind that quickly, I just don't remember anybody.
Because that look would scare me.
But you're not looking at his eyes.
Runner goes, pitches outside, so another walk, and the Yankees are walking around the bases. Runners on first and second, one out here in the 10th. So Molina has a talk with Percival.
It is amazing how the Angels have pitched out of some of these jams that they have been in with all the walks that they've given the Yankees tonight, especially those 6 leadoff walks.
Walks. They haven't been able to capitalize. 10. Here's Posada. There's a strike.
Well, what they have when you talk about Rodriguez and you talk about Donnelly and now Percival is that they can walk the bases loaded, but they still have the potential to be able to strike themselves out of trouble.
Bobby, I missed one walk. They have 11 walks. 11 walks, 5 hits, 16 base runners, and just 1 run. 1-1. Percival pitched on Monday, saving a 2-1 victory over the Oakland A's, but he did not pitch in the first 2 games of this series. Popped up left field down the line. Anderson is there in foul territory, fights the fans and makes the play 2 away.
Late swinging again, and you can see Garrett Anderson. He's already made a couple fine plays in the left field corner. And trying to get a little extra help there from, looks like a Yankee fan in that one area.
Posada wiping the grass off the bat. He had tossed it down on the ground, and the pine tar picks up the grass. And now puts it to bed. Here's Nick Johnson. Yankees 1 for 13 tonight with runners in scoring position. Nick Johnson has 2 of the Yankees' 11 walks. Otherwise, he's 0 for 2. Bernie Williams at second. Matsui is at first. And the pitch is low. We're in the top of the 10th inning. Yankees and the Angels are tied at 1. Yankees made big news today before the trade deadline. They picked up Aaron Boone from the Reds. Also Gabe White, a lefty reliever from the Reds. And they traded Robin Ventura to the Dodgers for 2 highly thought of minor league prospects. There's a strike. Neither White, who's on the DL with a groin pull, or Aaron Boone are with the team right now. So the Yankees playing with a 24-man roster tonight. They're expected to join the Yankees tomorrow in Oakland. And Boone will be inserted as the third baseman. 1-1. High, 2-1. 2-1. Line drive, base hit to left center field. Bernie Williams rounds third. He will score. Matsui's going for third. He's in there, and moving in behind the throw is Nick Johnson with a big RBI single to give the Yankees a 2-1 lead.
Oh, how they have missed Nick Johnson. And he comes up big on this base hit. And 2 men out. And finally, the Yankees have broken this deadlock. Working Johnson for the middle plate away, and that's pretty much at his strength there. So Bernie will come on to put the Yankees ahead 2-1. Finally, the Yankees have capitalized on a couple of walks in an inning.
And now Mike Scioscia wants to jog out and have a talk with Percival. I guess they're going over, do you want to walk DeLucci and face Sele? I think I'd go with facing Sele, although that puts a premium on throwing strikes. Sele has not batted all game, and all of a sudden he'd be facing 96, 97 mile-an-hour fastballs.
Depends on whether you want the right-handed matchup or not.
Remember, everybody, for the first word after the last out, you have to stay tuned for the Nissan postgame with Fred Hickman and Susan Waldman. Detailed analysis of tonight's game, interviews with players, plus scores and highlights from around the league. And they'll also break down the trades today. The Nissan postgame immediately following the game right here on Yes. So they're going after DeLucci, and they start him off with a strike. And really, if you think about it, you've stayed up this long. There's work tomorrow. Why don't you stay up for the postgame? That makes sense. The Nissan postgame. Fred Hickman and Susan Waldman do a great job. The 0-1. There's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2. DeLucci 1 for 3, a walk and a run scored. Also a great catch in right field in his Yankee debut. He was acquired a couple of days ago from the Diamondbacks for Raul Mondesi. The 0-2. He struck him out. So Percival comes back and strands 2, but the Yankees get the go-ahead run. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Rivera tries to save it.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The wind and the rain are really whipping right now here at the stadium. Giambi swings to drive to deep right center. Way back. This one is gone. The Yankees have won the ball game on a grand slam home run. As the rain pours down, the Yankees pour upon their teammate Giambi, who has won this game.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Mariano Rivera on to try to close out a 2-1 Yankee victory. Time to look at now the player of the game, brought to you by Saab. Welcome to the state of independence.
Well, that Saab player of the game and making his Yankee debut, David DeLucci. And a fine catch there in the third inning. Then he got a big hit in the ninth inning. A solid shot into right field. Yankees had 2 men on in that inning. Didn't score. But they have come up big here in the 10th inning. They lead it 2-1. David DeLucci, our top player of the game.
Nick Johnson with a big base hit against Percival, picks up an RBI, and as Bobby said, they really did miss Nick Johnson when he's on the DL with a broken hand. They missed Mariano Rivera in the first month of the season, but he's been lights out since.
Well, Mariano's record looked pretty impressive, but it always does.
Well, when you could add the hits and the walks, Bobby, and have less than the innings pitched, he's having some season. They had to give credit to the Yankee bullpen today. David Wells did a great job starting. Jesse Orosco got Darren Erstad to bunt, then walk the batter, and then Armando Benitez worked out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam, worked the scoreless 9th inning, and now he turns it over to Mariano Rivera. So the Yankee bullpen has done a nice job tonight, and Rivera will try to close it out, which would complete a 3-game sweep of the Angels. Now remember, the Red Sox lost in extra innings to Texas, so the Yankees can extend their lead in the American League East to 3.5 games. Eckstein leads it off against Rivera. Bottom of the 10th inning, and the pitch. Inside 1-0. Also upstairs 2-0. Rivera's had a lot of rest. Remember, he didn't pitch Monday, an off day, in the last 2 games. They didn't need anybody to close. And sometimes that's manifested in a little bit of a lack of command early. The 2-0. 3-0.
Well, the other thing, too, is that he had a long inning and a half to get ready down there. I don't know how many pitches he threw, but he started warming up about an inning and a half, maybe 2 innings ago.
In fact, the last time Mariano pitched was Friday night in Boston. So it's been 6 days since he's been on a mound. July 25th. Today is July 31st here on the West Coast. On the East Coast, you're already safely ensconced into August. The 3-1. 3-2. See his numbers there against the Red Sox. (3-2). Popped him up. Shallow center, backing up Jeter. Also Soriano. And Soriano with the call and the catch, 1 away.
Well, you just feel so comfortable as a Yankee when you have that lead and you know Mariano's out there on the mound. For a guy that can throw strikes and has got that devastating cutter that just saws the bat right in 2 on these left-handed hitters. And he's come up with that 2-seamer now that he can run away from him.
Pitch to Erstad is high. There's a strike. 1-1. Erstad today 1 for 3 and also laid down that sacrifice bunt against Jesse Orosco. Swing and a miss on that cutter, diving down and in. 1-2.
You just get so conscious of that cutter running in on your hands that you start protecting for it, and then that's what makes that 2-seamer that he has come up with so effective as he runs it away from you.
One-two, high. That's 95 miles an hour. That's quicker than Mariano usually is, so you can tell he's really well rested. And the 2-2. He struck him out. Cutter diving down and in. 2 away.
Just so unhittable. Watch this thing just keep diving down and in, and he's throwing at 90+ miles an hour.
And here's Garrett Anderson, last chance for the Angels. Bottom of the 10th, Yankees lead 2-1. And there's the strike. Free and easy, Mariano Rivera on the mound. Trying to save this for Armando Benitez and trying to complete a 3-game sweep. Tried to go outside, and the count 1-1. Grounded foul. And the Yankees are 1 strike away. A lot of Yankee fans here, 43,871, a lot on their feet, cheering for the final strike and the final out. Rivera gets the sign from Posada. And the 1-2. Line drive foul.
Anytime you have something hard inside, it automatically quickens your bat up. But when the ball continues to bear in on your hands, you just can't quicken it up enough because you're always pulling them in.
1-2. Stays alive. Good battle here. One of the best players in baseball and arguably the best reliever in baseball. And a last chance for the Angels. The MVP in the All-Star game earlier this month. Also the Home Run Derby champion. Anderson standing between the Angels keeping this going and the end of the game. The 1-2. Fouls it off. What a play by a fan leaning over the railing at the second deck. Wow. Caught it barehanded, a bullet.
Yeah.
He deserves those high fives.
I don't think he knew he even had it until the ball landed in his hand. Look at that.
And the 1-2. Another line drive and another souvenir.
What's amazing about this is that Anderson's getting the bat out there and he hasn't broken a bat yet. Normally Mariano has broken, at least 1 bat from a left-hander.
It always worries you. Anderson sees so many pitches. He's such a good hitter. The 1-2. High fly ball to right field. DeLucci is there. He'll put it away, and that'll do it. The Yankees win this one 2-1. They sweep the 3-game set here in Anaheim, and they sweep a series in Anaheim for the first time since 1994. Nick Johnson with the big base hit, an RBI single to left center field against Troy Percival. Had a very successful 3 days here in Southern California for Joe Torre and his team. We'll come back, we'll break it down, and then, of course, we'll wrap it up and put a nice little bow on it. Yankees 2, Angels 1 in 10 innings.